Another episode of Topshelfers podcast. Today we are sponsored by Monarch Social.
Monarch Social is the next big thing in digital media marketing, where they discuss and do all things digital media marketing. So if you guys need websites, SEO, if you guys need Facebook ads or Google PPC,
content creation,
you want us to manage the Facebook and Instagram, head on over to monarchsocialbrand.com and let them know Top Shelfer sent you.
We're also sponsored by Dark Prime Collectibles. Mark it down. May 28th is the soft launch date for the return of in-store play for Magic the Gathering and other associated games. This is super exciting for everyone who's into Magic the Gathering or card games in general, because they have been banned all the way since the start of COVID. If you're looking for a new place to meet some locals, get a great community, Dark Prime Collectibles is one of the best places. Very welcoming, friendly, fun. They'll teach you if you need to be taught. They taught me how to play. It's fantastic. You can either head over to their website, darkprimecollectibles.com, to get some more information, or check out their product list if you're looking for more cards. Or their location is 354 State Street in Clearfield, Utah. That's area code or zip code 84015. And last but not least, of course, we're brought to you by Hepius. It's the #1 place to go for premium CBD that won't break the bank. It is locally owned and sourced here in Utah, and it is safe for work, meaning there's no THC. They have something for everyone, and I personally use their #2 broad spectrum. Love it, daily use for me. Head over to hepiusmed.com. That is HEPIUSMED.com.
Nice.
Morgan and Makoa.
Thanks for having us, dude.
Dude, I'm so excited because...
I'm nervous.
Nervous?
No, I'm just joking.
Nervous?
I'm just nervous for all the fun that we're going to have.
You've been here. This is what, your third appearance?
Third appearance.
Which I'm super excited to have you back.
Yo,
The
first
audience-
timer.
Yep, first timer. The audience loved Morgan.
Virgin no more.
Yes.
Baptized.
Baptized.
It's a weird dynamic sometimes. So like, for the audience transparency, I work with you guys, and even though our work environment isn't the typical one, you know, we're more laid back. Like we work hard, but we hang out. It's always weird to be outside of work, you know, getting together to do something. I'm just excited because I really want to know more of your guys' backstory. Like, I feel like every person has a lore and what brought them to where they are today. And I know Morgan shared some of his lore last time he was on, but Makoa, my community doesn't know anything.
Let's go, man.
Doesn't
you guys
know
are all about to
anything.
get to know the one-on-one about Makoa right here.
Yeah.
The one and only Makoa
The one and only.
Let's go.
The man behind the whole entire, the back end of business.
Yes, sir.
We'll
Let's
say.
do it.
So, what exactly, first of all, born and raised in Utah?
Yes, sir.
What got you into the space that you're in? Because I know that it's not one that is taught in traditional schooling.
Yeah.
You don't go to school and learn how to do social media marketing. So what got you in the doors?
So honestly, what got me into it, because I'll say that video and photography is the big thing that got me into the door of the digital world. And a big part of that is because Instagram was popping off.
Right.
Like Facebook, MySpace, all that stuff was around. But once Instagram came out, that just was like a reason for me to go out and take photos and like try to, I guess you will flex in a way, because it was like an attention thing, right? It's like, hell yeah, look at this guy doing these things, okay? And so Instagram was coming out. I got into a sales job doing door-to-door sales. I was working at Comcast. And everybody in Utah does door-to-door sales.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows that.
You've
done door-to-door.
I've done door-to-door.
You have to. Exactly. Everybody does door-to-door at some point in their lives. And so I was doing this door-to-door job out in like the Bay Area, California. And I got lucky because a lot of people go to do door-to-door in the worst places. Ohio, BFP, Texas. And I went to the Bay, which was amazing. We were right outside of San Francisco. And it was I was super grateful for that. And when I got there, this was like the first time I was old enough. I think I was like 18. No, I was like 19 at the time. And it was the first time I've been in a big city like that. And so I was blown away by the whole mass of the city. And I guess I should go back a little bit, because before I left Comcast, I got a GoPro from this guy that worked at Comcast with me. I think he bought it originally to do slow-mos of his kids playing golf and like critique their shot, but he didn't understand that you can't just hit a button to make it go into slow-mo.
Right.
You have to like
have a video.
You have to edit into slow-mo.
Yeah.
And so I picked this GoPro up for dirt cheap, go out to California, and I just started making videos. Like random stuff. Like I remember I made like a time lapse of the whole drive, edited it up to like music, and made it like kind of have some cool things with it. And anyways, yeah. So I started doing videos out there. I fast forward, I started getting attention with these videos. I come home, and right when I got home, I went on vacation to Hawaii, and I was like, holy shit, this place is beautiful.
Right.
Like this is beyond beautiful. And of course, I was on that whole video. I was the only one in my squad that had a little GoPro. I'm like, yo, what up? Say what up to the camera. And so I made this little edit and posted it on Facebook. And I want to say it was like not even a couple days, not even a week later, I got a DM from somebody that owned an agency. And he was like, hey, we need to make a video for this company called Bad Apple. I was wondering if you would be down to make a video for us. And I was like, dude, I was scared because I never in my life, I didn't pick up a camera to make money at all.
Right.
At all. And so when he comes at me, he's like, oh, I want you to make this video. I was like, oh, shit. I'm not really doing anything, no. So I'm going to say yes.
Right.
And so I go and meet up with them, and they had the owner of Bad Apple in this meeting. And it was a guy that he's like he's not way older than me, but he graduated right when I got into high school.
Okay.
But we knew each other because of sports.
Right.
Because I played up and I had knew these people. And so anyways, yeah, we go into this meeting and I started vibing with the guy that was the owner of Bad Apple, and I vibed with the guy that owned this agency. And so rather than me even making a video immediately, homie offered me a job to work at his company making social media posts.
Oh shit.
And it fits perfectly because I had been doing my own social media shit, right?
Right.
Like I had been doing these videos, I've been making little photos, and it just fit perfect. I was like, hell yeah, dude, you're gonna pay me to do this shit that I've been doing? And so, yeah, that's literally my into the agency world. And it was crazy because once I got into that world, it literally blew my mind with how that whole industry works, with how social media marketing works. And the fact that people will pay you to do something is technically free because of the talent and skill that you have.
Yeah.
And knowledge about that stuff.
It's definitely one of those ones where there's levels to it.
For sure.
A lot of people talk about levels to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can watch a video, and we've talked about, stomping out the gurus. Anyone can watch a video and learn how to run a Facebook ad.
Yep.
But that's like step one of the 100-step process.
Absolutely.
What year was it that you were out in Hawaii, like doing the
2016?
2016. So you're like on the that breakout edge of like vlogging becoming like super normal.
Mainstream.
Because like I remember the first time I ever did like a vlog style thing was maybe 2012 or 2013, and you get looked at like an idiot.
Literally, and that was the most awkward thing that you have to overcome doing vlogs and doing any sort of really recording, is you have to be that weirdo that's like, pause everything, don't go in front of my frame,
yeah.
Like, I'm taking this. Or even weirder is when you're talking to a camera by yourself.
I have my, this is what I looked like when I would go out.
Full setup.
Like,
full
just,
setup.
But like, you get looked at, or you used to get looked at as like,
a weirdo.
But now, with TikTok and
it's
Instagram
like
Live, yeah, like every
media to do the whole setup. And so the very first time they were going to make us this like sick video ad and commercial, they send Makoa. Makoa shows up, pulls out an Apple iPhone, and that's what he filmed on.
The whole video was done on an iPhone, dude.
And so I'm sitting there, and we're like, dude, I'm paying this company like how much? And they just sent this young Islander kid with a freaking iPhone to come film this shit, and I had every doubt in the world. But then, like 2 weeks later, what he sent us
was sick. That video was good for a little iPhone.
Was
video.
Like the sickest video I've ever seen.
And it goes to show that like your quality, the equipment you need, like the equipment you use, doesn't necessarily determine the quality of the video at the end.
Absolutely.
And you feel me, dude. Imagine me going out on these jobs. with homie saying like, here you go,
Dude,
go do this. I have no camera. I literally have a GoPro and a phone, dude. Like that's
Dude, he didn't even show up with a GoPro though. I'm telling you, he walked
because
in.
the new iPhone just came out and it was a great camera.
No, listen, like the end product was amazing. It was like the presentation where you come into our business and you're just like this happy kid, like you had a hat and like longer hair and you just like strolling in, I'm here to do your video, and he pulls out an iPhone to film on, and I'm sitting here like, okay, we've been
thousands and thousands of dollars.
No. Well, like Casey and I, my old business partner, we had been on like TV shows, we had been in interviews, we'd been like high class shit. Like we know production, and so when he showed up, it was just really funny. But that was our introduction to Koa.
But I mean, like you said though, it doesn't always matter the equipment. Of course, you can't like film with a toaster brand company, but
yes,
it's the skill is in the edit.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyone can hold a phone
dude.
or a camera, but
I like there's these videos online. We've watched them before where they give a beginner like the best equipment out there, and they give like a pro like the crappiest equipment, and then they give them a project to do, and they show the end result. And it's literally editing. Like you have to know editing.
I will say angles does go. A lot of it is the angles and the creative idea before you actually film too.
Right, not just filming to film, but film with a purpose.
Yeah, because I know people that got Reds and they just put their camera on a tripod and just let it chill.
Well,
there.
explain what a Red is.
We're talking like you could either get a Tesla or you could get a Red, like a Red camera, I should say.
Yeah,
the same price.
Yes,
yeah,
same price. Honestly, some Reds are way more than that. Like way more. You buy 4 Teslas for the amount you get 1 Red for.
Yeah.
And shout out DH, thanks for the sub, my guy. It's fascinating how small of a world it is because. So let's fast forward. Well, no. Let's go back. Let's go back to knocking doors. Okay. A hot topic on Topshelfers lately is kind of the faith that revolves around Utah. Yep. And I believe Morgan has shared some stories on the podcast before about. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't.
I think just very lightly, but
very lightly.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with the prominent faith around Utah?
Yeah.
I
absolutely did.
Did you go on the mission?
I did not.
Because that's always one of the most funny memories I have from knocking doors was like the first couple days that we were there, right? And they're teaching us the ropes. And this guy, like your typical Chad from the main company that's around here. I don't want to name drop them because they're mean. They're mean and evil. He stands up, and the first thing out of his mouth, he's like, "Which one of you kids are Mormon?"
Yeah.
And there was like this awkward silence. And there was like 3 or 4 kids who like kind of like raised their hand, like, "Back from your mission?" Yeah. You guys are gonna kill it.
I know. I was just about to say.
You guys are gonna kill it,
dude. The return missionaries were the slayers. The slayers out there were the return missionaries.
Yes. Thanks for the sub, Stingray. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Brandon. That's Brandon.
And I just remember sitting there like, because I'm brand new to this world. Never, like, I've done light sales before, but nothing like going and knocking doors. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah, I wonder how. It must be super hard to sell
a religion.
A religion.
That would be so hard.
Okay, guys.
Speak to
us.
All right. Okay. Well, this is the thing. You're so young. You're stupid, naive.
Right.
You don't have those crazy realizations that you're knocking on adult people's homes trying to get them to do something that's completely radical.
Yeah.
You're backed by the Lord.
Right.
All right. And so,
Lord's got you.
So like that fear level is literally not there. And so it's that, I don't know. But then you start doing it and then it gets so, it's just
it
so
kind of becomes
common.
like your normal.
It's so normal. Like I literally could go knock on any one of these doors probably and just start a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
But because I did it for 2 years, well, I did it more than that because I did outside sales. But I mean, some missionaries, like when they start, like it's very hard for them. But honestly, like it's typically, in my opinion, very easy for us to knock doors because it's like, A, you're young, you're stupid, you're naive, you don't realize like what you're asking people to really do because you don't grasp the whole concept of it, and so you're just kind of naive at it, and then you're backed by the strongest force in the world,
right?
The universe. You're backed by Odin himself. You
remember
know?
those old commercials, The Shack's Got Your Back? I want to remake one for Mormons that's just Jesus got your back.
Well, yeah, you're just like pumped full of that stuff before you, like, when you're getting ready to go on a mission, is like you're protected and like angels are behind you, and so it feels really.
That's a conversation that we can take a left turn here before we get back to the meeting. No. I love hearing about why people chose to leave. I know it's a personal, sometimes people don't like to share, but I'd love to hear what you guys have. And the reason why I always ask this is I had an individual come on and pretty much tell his whole entire, from like kindergarten through high school and then mission, and then why he felt like he needed to leave, like all the steps that brought him to that point. And I actually had a very large number of people reach out to me and say, hey, like, I don't know if you realize, but there's so many people that were in this person's, like, who were in the similar spot, and they thought they were completely crazy because they thought they needed to leave, but thought they shouldn't. So I'm always very interested in why individuals decide to leave.
I mean, yeah,
it's up to you.
So this is what I will say. I'll start with this. Is I don't think there was ever a moment that made me like leave necessarily, because in my heart and soul, there's still aspects that I truly believe in that are right in line with everything that goes on in the Mormon Church.
Right.
Like, there's not another. I should say this. There's not another religion that I would rather do than be Mormon.
Okay.
Now, there's also an aspect of it that I don't like, which is the judgmental side of it. Mm-hmm. How if you're not exactly to the T what they preach, then you're a bad person going to hell.
Right.
Like, I'm not okay with that, because I know tons of people that are not Mormon that still have those same qualities of life and being a good person, and those are the type of things. Even though they drink on occasion, that doesn't mean they're going to hell.
Right.
And so that's a big
on their body.
Yes, and that it doesn't mean they're going to hell. And so it's hard for me to say like I left. I think I stopped going to church when I was like,
you faded.
Yeah, it was more like I faded. I stopped going to church when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and that was a hard time. I mean, my mom, I love my mom more than anything. Like, she's the best person ever, and she's still the type of person that I would strive to be like, and she still goes to church to this day. But just my lifestyle and the things that I wanted didn't necessarily fit in with what everything is.
I think that
builds up the church.
I agree with you on a lot of that, because the thing that always confused me, because for the backstory for the new listeners, I grew up with no religion, and now look at myself more as, I don't want to say atheist because I'm not anti-Christ, but I'm anti-organized religion, because I just, even at a young age, I didn't understand why I'd have to go show that I'm a part of something. Shouldn't I be able to just have a personal relationship with God or Jesus or whoever I believe in, and not have to have this front?
Right.
And that's why I always never chose to go, because I was like, well, if I'm going to have a relationship with a God or a Savior, I'm just going to do that on my personal life.
Right. And I hated, a big chunk of it that I hated was, I felt like a lot of people were fake because they lived this life that didn't align with what the church wanted, yet they would still go to church and be like totally normal. And there was a thing with me that I hated about that. It was like, if I'm going to be real, I'm going to be real.
Yeah.
Like, if I like to party, especially when I'm in high school. Like, I mean, think about it. We're in high school. We're going to party. We're going to drink. We're going to do our thing. I'd rather be real and admit that I'm doing that stuff than pretend that I'm not doing that and lie about it and then go in there and pretend I'm something that I'm not.
Or you hear the fucked up stories of like these kids who are either about to go or currently on their mission, and they're sending back some very interesting messages to the single women of the area.
Absolutely.
And it's
absolutely.
Well,
I would rather be me and be authentic and be like, yo, this is how I am. I know it's not exactly what you want, but guess what? I'm still a good ass person. And I'm still gonna protect. My body's still a temple. Mm-hmm. Even if I put art on it, it's just me putting paintings on the walls.
Absolutely.
I still care for my neighbor. If they're, bro, I bring in we live next to a grandma. I bring her garbage in every single day.
Yeah.
Every single time we put garbage out, I take it out and bring it back.
You got to.
Dude, the other day I helped. It's a sidetrack story. Yeah, but I ended up moving a garbage can over and it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, and then there's me, boys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Morgan.
Because I have like a very opinionated response for all of this nonsense. But okay, first of all, you don't need religion to be a good person, which you're blending the two, which is a little weird. You don't need to be good.
I would say the core values that I was taught.
Oh, okay.
The things I was taught in church is core values that I still have regardless of religion.
Yeah. I think, for me, like, I would say you're kind of, I think you still kind of believe, right? Like generally, like in a God and stuff, and you're agnostic. And then there's me, who's a militant atheist, where I think all religion is terrible and horrible, and it's nonsense to believe in an imaginary person. Oh, if you're listening, please, if you're easily offended, please just leave the chat now, because I might say some shit, and I'm sorry about that, but sorry.
Or just stay and bolster my numbers. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Or just saying bolster. Just mute, and then I'll give you a thumbs up when I'm done. But yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same stuff. But anyways, for me, like Makoa said, it wasn't like a specific moment. For me, it was like the span over a year of like really trying to figure it out, and there was a couple of realizations that I had going through my change. One was when I started kind of like getting into science and facts, and they didn't line up with what you're taught in religion. And so it's funny because a lot of people that leave the church, the Mormon church here in Utah, they get like angry at the LDS church, right. And they get like really mad at it, and like they're angry at it. For me, it was completely different. I kind of came to the conclusion that there was no God, and that's a very long story, but it was a space of a year. It wasn't like a moment. And when I did, it wasn't like the church wasn't wrong. It was like, oh, just God doesn't exist, and the Mormon church just happens to fall inside that. So I didn't have like animosity towards the LDS church or anything like that. It's just like God. And then I was like, oh, okay, that just doesn't fit my worldview anymore. But yeah, but it was a really long process, like deciding. It was like agnostic, and then I realized I was agnostic, and I called my best friend, Corey, shout out Coco. And I was like, I think I'm agnostic. And he's like, what? Because, he had left the church long before me. And he was excited. And anyways, I kept kind of going through my journey, my path. And then I just realized one day I woke up and I was like, holy shit, like, I don't believe this anymore.
Right.
And so then I kind of left. But
well, I do want to correct you on one thing with myself. I don't put myself in agnostic because I don't believe in any God at all. And I don't think there is one.
Okay.
But I'm not atheists, because typically when atheists get brought into the picture, it's like they're
it's not anti, it's atheist, so just like no God.
Right, but isn't it anti-church?
No.
Okay, well then I guess I'm atheist, because my whole understanding of it was that they
wanted
churches to be kind of dissolved. Even though I'm 100% believer and let people do what makes them happy.
Well, that's why I call them like
it doesn't affect me. I'm not gonna like put my judgment on you and make you a bad person. That's why it's like we coexist.
We do coexist.
That's the cool part.
But no, with atheism, it's literally just like
anti.
It's not anti. It's not anti. It's just like no God.
I want to say it's like a science. There's like there's no scientific proof to prove that this is what it is.
It's not anti-religion. It's not anti-God. That's why I say militant atheist, because I am one of those people, because I'm militant about it, where I'm like, all religion sucks, and they teach you horrible things. And you won't change my mind. Coexist. Coexist. Yeah. So I think if someone just doesn't believe in a God, they're not like anti. Like if you take someone that was just, born in the desert with their parents, it's like, and they don't believe in God, like they're not going to teach their kid about God. It doesn't mean they're anti-religion or anti-God. They just don't believe in a God.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, and then you take my stance where I'm like, oh, I'll be a militant atheist and like fight for the truth. But yeah.
For the truth.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, and it's that's what I love about where the world's going with things, though, is like, you can have conversations with individuals more now where you can and still be able to have relationships.
Yeah.
But I think it gets construed in our media where like we can't. We're told that if we have disbeliefs that we have to be enemies.
Absolutely.
But the more conversations I have, the more I realize people are way more interested in just hearing other people's opinions and being okay.
Well, I became like a better person overnight when I kind of like left religion. Like immediately I was like 100 times better person, less homophobic, less misogynistic, less racist. I mean, the list goes on, but like overnight I let all of those weird beliefs that I'd had that I'd been taught just to like let go. And so I feel like I became like this better person like overnight.
Right. And it's one of those ones where it's just we see the trend where more and more people are leaving all religion.
Yeah,
all religion.
Yeah, I think that's
is.
like the wave right now.
I think the biggest negative about religion is the fact that you're taught that if it's not the same religion, that it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
I think everybody should be allowed to have their own religion. And
Oh,
not
you
be a bad thing.
universalist.
That's where I come from, and I feel like I've been that my whole life. Where it's like I've gone to different churches, and it's not like I necessarily believe in it, but I went there to see what's up and see how it was.
In my personal opinion, I think that your belief system is going to be the future for at least the next 40, 50 years. People are going to move more towards the idea of like, especially in Utah specifically, they're going to move more towards the idea of like, well, you know, I believe in the core things of, you know, Mormonism or LDS. They taught me to be a decent person. But the rest of it, I don't need to go. I don't need to be a part of it.
I don't need to be in depth.
I think a lot of people are going to move to that. And then that step is going to progressively move more and more people to just not having any type of thought or relationship with a higher being.
Yeah, I think, you know, the two things that I live by is be a good person and do what makes you happy. And when you realize like what it means to be a good person and you leave like your prejudice and biases and, you know, your bigotry behind, you become a better person and you're a really good person when you do that. And I don't think you need religion to be a good person.
No, and the other thing that I always stomp out is the whole idea of karma. Because for some reason we have this Americanized karma where it's like, if I go out and do these good deeds, if I give back to the homeless, then it's coming back tenfold to me. If you guys want to get technical, that's not even how karma is from the where it was created. Karma was you had to live your whole life selflessly, and if you had any thought of like, oh well, I should have a better life because I'm a good person.
It's selfish.
You have to redo your whole life and try and do it again. So this Americanized karma of being a good person and expecting things in return is something that I always try and tell people is not actually being a good person.
Yeah, that's because that's egotistical and that's very selfish.
Egotistical.
It's like very like self-centric.
So if you're just a good person at your core, don't expect good things back. Like just be a good person, and it does make you a lot happier.
Amen, Daddy Kobucks, and amen, Stingray. Dude says, I just found out today that the church literally tells you what you should do for a living at like 16.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, I don't
not
know.
necessarily tell you what to do. They told me I need to get married quick and have kids.
Yeah.
I obliged.
You definitely don't have sex before you're married, though. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if they like say like specifics of like, this is what you need to do for a living. I mean, I don't remember that conversation. But they're definitely corral you into a way of being... a certain living way.
Well, that's definitely the get married and have kids because, of course, you're going to teach them what's right.
Yep.
And they're going to be in the system, and it's just this ever revolving door of individuals and money.
Oh yeah, tithe payers.
Yeah.
We'll just pump out those tithe payers.
Well, and I'll go back to kind of when we were talking about doing door to door. I will say this. I will say I learned so much shit doing door to door about me as a person and core values, like I said. And I understand why they would make kids do missions. Not necessarily why the church does. I understand the benefits that I mean, again, kids that go out and do those missions, they have work ethic. Yeah. Because that shit is hard. That shit sucks. They come back and they can talk to people and carry a conversation.
Okay, so D is just talking about a patriarchal blessing.
Yeah.
If you guys want to get into that real quick. But yeah, it's when you become of age, they want to know your lineage. They give you a patriarchal blessing. And in that blessing, they believe it's like totally prophetic. And sometimes they will say stuff like that. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Deej, man. Deej. Yeah, going back to you, what you said about knocking doors is, I think that's just like a universal principle though, is and we've talked about this many times, is being uncomfortable. Like when you make yourself uncomfortable, you learn so much. You learn so much about yourself that it's unbelievable. So like when you're out knocking doors, and dude, I knock doors in Sacramento. Yeah. You know, I knock doors in Sacramento heat, middle of summer.
I was in
miserable.
San Jose. It's just hot. I remember going up to doors and saying, hey, sweat dripping onto the iPad that I'm trying to get them to sign.
Dude, I was a fat guy. I was 100 pounds heavier than now. Like knocking doors, like just like drenched in sweat, like red in the face, sweating at the door. Can I come in? You know, like, please let me fill your AC.
I was in the ghettos of Houston.
Oh, and, man, that's scary.
It was very scary. The amount of times that I was, you know, walking around, because I worked for a competitor of the bad guys around here, and there was times where I was afraid that I was not wearing neutral gang colors because like you would get eyed by individuals and not like a who's this guy walking down my street, like what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
You know, but I firmly believe that if you get comfortable, that's just the killer of everything. Ambition, goals.
Oh, dude, when you're comfortable, it screws you up, man. And I'm like living that currently, honestly, is like trying to get more uncomfortable because the better that we're doing is like you get more comfortable.
You absolutely do. And it's like, what can we do to get uncomfortable that shoots you into the...
Just keep pushing the envelope and keep pushing those
I can't remember if it's you who talks about it a bit or maybe it's someone else I listen to, but like the reprogramming of what we were taught as children and what our parents were taught like is really kind of not good for our health. And like the reprogramming of like, you know, getting a house and having a family isn't necessarily a bad thing, but getting a house and having a family and then staying stagnant from 30 to 60 is a very bad thing, not only for mental health, but for, you know, physical health and a whole bunch of other things. And I really feel like one of the main reasons why the highest demographic for people who take their own lives are men in their 50s right now is because they go through that cycle. They're comfortable for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I think it's just perspective. Like, I think that the happiness is so relative. Like, I know people that like they're happiest like when they come home, do nothing and just chill and just be. And I know other people that are completely unhappy if that's what they do. Like, they have to like continue to push the envelope or do the next thing or get out and go on an adventure or do something. So it's all perspective. Like, I think you know, like you said with like the programming to like get married and have kids or settle down or, you know, get a house, it's all perspective. Like, on one hand, I think, you know, we're pack animals. We're not meant to be alone. I don't think you're meant to be alone. But that being said, I don't know if it's the smartest thing to go like right after high school, buy a house, get into a ton of debt, go to college, get into a ton of debt, pop out kids you can't pay for. Like,
for real.
Like, if I could do my life again, like, let me be the example of being like, hey, yo, just pump the brakes.
You don't need to get married real quick. You don't need to have
shit costs a lot of money, guys, and you probably shouldn't, you know, just go into debt. Like, it means nothing because guess what? It does. And then as a kid or as a young adult, like, I don't think you're mentally capable of making some of those fucking decisions that mean the weight that they bring. You know, like, I had a kid when I was a kid. Like, that makes me sick. Like, I had no authority to bring a child into the world at the age and the mental capacity that I did. But, you know, I did.
Yeah.
And I figured it out. But no, anyways, but it's all perspective. I think happiness is perspective. And I think, yeah, that being uncomfortable, it definitely makes you grow as a human and in different things and in different, you know, ways. Part of that uncomfortableness is, you know, day in and day out of waking up at a 9-to-5 job, putting in the work for years, you know, and that is, you're uncomfortable. I don't think it's just a weekend, you know, that you just chill out every weekend. I think, you know, people can be uncomfortable in different ways, but once again, it's just all perspective to me.
Of course. Either hiking.
I'm happiest either hiking or a 90-pound backpack and hiking out chasing animals. Either way, it's uncomfortable, and you can always get better at them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's like your happiness, man. That sounds horrible to me, and I would rather put a gun to my head than go hike.
Chase animals, but I mess with the hiking.
Yeah, he's a big hunter.
Yeah,
he's come on and done my podcast.
Yeah, I've listened to him.
Yeah. Staley's great. Staley Outdoors, shout out.
Yeah, but you know, you put Morgan, who's like a 250-pound man beast with a 90-pound backpack hiking, chasing animals. Yeah, like, fuck, go put on some YouTube, Cody. Or Mr. Saul, like, go put on YouTube and watch like Cameron Haynes. It's the same thing. Open a window.
He wants to be the next
get a
Cameron
breeze.
Haynes.
Yeah, open a window and get a breeze on your face. Like, it's the same thing.
That's my
it's not the same.
Like
don't let it fool you. It's not the same.
No, see, it's all perspective though. Like, his happiness, my happiness, same thing. Just different places.
Morgan could do it.
I mean, maybe.
So let's wrap back around now that we got a little bit more deep into the personal lives. You met Makoa through his agency, his marketing agency.
Yeah, we had a store here in Utah, fixing phones, and multiple locations, and we hired his company, his agency, to help us with social media marketing because it was like the one piece that we sucked at. And so we hired this company and Koa, and that's how we met Koa.
That is.
So let's fast forward a little bit. We'll skip some details. You end up chasing your own thing, and then kind of how does the bump in happen? How do we hook back up? How do you guys hook back up?
Oh, that's a good story.
Okay, do you want to go or me?
I'll start.
You start. I'll take over.
Okay, so like I said, I got hired by that agency. I was there for it was like 3 years, and at one point, it felt like I was doing so much of it. Like we had some changes happen that I was not okay with. Would put a lot more work on my plate, and so I took
Can I make it one caveat?
What?
Not only was it Makoa, it was also Brandon, who's our other part owner.
Yes.
Okay,
that's how me and Brandon met.
So I have to just put that in there too, or he's gonna yell at us. But Brand was there too at both points. So.
He was exactly.
Oh, so he worked with you at the agency.
Yes.
Oh,
he did
okay.
That's how we met.
He did our website. He was doing our videos.
Yes.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so what happened was some changes happened with our staff at the company I was with, and I was not okay with it. And at the time, again, I put a lot more work on me, having to do shit that I had no idea how to do. And so I politely took the owner up into the mountains, and we went to have like a
heart-to-heart,
kind of like a heart-to-heart, but it was more like we had people there that we were gonna just like have a campfire type thing.
Yeah.
And I politely pulled him off the side. I was like, "Yo, dude, I want to have more reason to keep doing what I'm doing here, right? I want to have equity in the company. I would love to have a piece of this instead of just getting paid, because I'm doing a lot more work and my pay didn't go up at all." And he was honestly kind of rude about the answer. He was like, "No, man, there's just no way I can do that." And so after that moment, shit just kind of fizzled out. Like, again, more things came on, and I started being like, "No, dude, I'm not gonna do this. Like, I didn't sign up to do this, this, and this." And at one point, it finally blew up, where my anger was just built up, and he asked me to do one thing, and I was like, "Dude, no, I'm not doing this. I quit." I literally remember saying like, "Yo, I quit," and I walked out. And it was like a bad thing. Like, it ended in a bad way. I came back and we finally we bought a camera, and I ended up having to buy the fucking camera back from him to keep the camera, which was ridiculous. With the amount of money we made off of that camera that I did all by myself.
He should have just gave it to you.
He should have. Or even hooked it up. I would have been down to pay, but no, it was full price.
So were you getting in a position where you were hired on to like wear one hat, and they were starting to stack?
Yes, because we started getting
multiple hats.
We started getting rid of people, and so it was like, okay, well, who's gonna do this? Now that you got rid of this person, how are we gonna do this? It's like, we'll figure it out. I'm like, all right, whatever. And so I finally blew up, ended that whole thing, and right as I was ending this, I'm looking at what I'm gonna do next, and I see you and Casey out here like traveling all over, like doing like they're trying to be like Gary Vee type stuff.
Yeah.
And so I just slid into the DMs of Morgan. I was like, "Yo, bro, what up? I haven't seen you in forever."
Okay, my side then. Okay, it all started in the candy cane fort. No, 2 years before Koa slid in our DMs. Okay, we started Monarch, Casey and I.
Yeah.
And I came out to Utah, and we were about ready to full send it, and he bailed on me, and we just kind of buried it. And then 2 years later, we were in a position, we had sold the company, trying to figure out what was the next thing. And we said, dude, let's do marketing. Like, fuck it. Like, let's go all in on marketing. We're really good at it. We understand it. And we're going to need these key pieces. And the two freaking pieces that we needed was, man, we need like a video guy and we need a website guy. And me and Casey, like, we didn't keep in touch with these guys
at all.
So we weren't going to reach out to them because we thought they were still working at that other agency.
Right.
We weren't going to go poach them. We weren't going to be like dicks and be like, "Oh, here, you like come work for us," rather than that guy. So we just left it chill. We're sitting there. We're like putting our fillers out, trying to figure out like who we're going to bring on. And next thing you know, Koa slides deep into my DMs.
Dude, for real. I was like, I'm not with this company anymore. And I see what you're trying to do. You know, I can do stuff with
I'm
the
not
camera.
with that agency anymore.
Yep.
And dude, I got that message and I look up and I'm like, oh my God.
The guy.
Yeah, dude. And I was like,
tomorrow. Dude, it was crazy. Like, it was literally like I sent that message, and again, this is like 2 days after I had to quit and ice this whole thing, gave computers back. It was like clean cut, done.
And we hadn't talked for like 2 years.
Not at all. Not at all. The only reason I even knew this was because we were still following each other on social.
Yeah, we were just social media friends.
Yeah. And so I saw these and I wrote out and I was like, yo, dude, I'm not with this. I see what you guys are gonna do. I could do some video stuff for you guys if you guys were down to do something and hit me up. It was literally like, yo, let's meet at Red Robin at 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Like, you're on, hired, done, deal, signed, sealed, delivered. Like, let's go.
Then, okay, so Brandon, was he in the same spot?
So Brandon, yeah, but he was working at another place.
He was working at another place. But this is the thing is, they told me we need to do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, okay, well, I can do X and Y, but the Z aspect, I'm not really, like, super fluent with it. But I've always been close with Brandon. Like, even when everything split out, when everything fell apart, I would still talk to Brandon.
Yeah.
And so, as soon as this opportunity came about, I was like, dude, yo, he was doing another job. I can't remember. He was making stickers. He was doing, like, vinyls and all this other stuff. And, it wasn't enough. We were focusing on sales right when I first got brought on.
So we didn't have clients.
We didn't have clients. So it wasn't time to be like, yo, Brandon, I need your help to come over.
But we were using him to film us like Gary Vee.
Literally.
Right.
We were literally using Brandon to like film us.
And then we had the whole everybody doing sales. Like, we was a huge emphasis on sales.
Yes. And so like we needed the customers to be able to like bring Brandon on. And so that's why he came on later.
Gotcha.
Once we had enough that I could bring him away from his job that made sense, that's when it was like, okay.
Yeah, like once Casey stepped away and Koa became my partner, and lover. No, once we were doing our own.
I ship it, but that's the story.
Once we were doing our own thing, and then we would get these little things on, and we started bringing on websites.
I remember we would just pay Brandon per project.
It was per project.
Like when websites would come in, it was like, bro, I need your help with this. We'll pay you
like once every 3 months.
Yeah. And then it finally got to the point where like, dude, we have enough income coming in that we could bring you on full time. I would love to have you in on this.
And next thing you know,
and it was the best thing we ever did. Honestly, it was. We
love you, Brandon.
Yes. Yeah, for real. Because it was the best thing we did. Because now it opened up. I will say this from personal experience. It's hard to be your one-man show and be the only one doing all of the fulfillment side.
Well, dude, it was rough. When it was just Koa and I was doing all the sales.
Yes.
He was doing all the work.
And so it was like, shit, clients kept getting added on. And I was like, holy fuck, dude.
You know your boy goes to work.
Right.
Exactly. And it was overwhelming.
And so he was alone, depressed.
I was in the office by myself. And we didn't have any of the fancy...
And I was out selling.
We didn't have any of the fancy stuff we had even. We didn't even have a TV at this point.
We didn't have a TV.
And I'm chilling in there, just 2 desks and a coffee maker. I'm like, God damn, like, this is
just eerily quiet.
Just grinding at stupid shit.
And then I'd bring him another client.
And I'm like, good, but fuck, man. Like, what do you mean? I'm gonna have 0 life. Like, it was the hardest. And so when we brought Brandon on, it was like not only a boost for me personally because it was like sick, dude. I have a teammate and we're in this together. But it was even better because me and Brandon talked about doing this when we were at this agency because we fucking hated it so much. We were like, how cool would it be if we could do this but not have this fucking Nazi telling us what to do?
Right.
And it was just crazy how it all happened because it's literally what we wanted to happen. And so it was just a perfect mesh where it's like, okay, Morgan's out here slinging accounts. Now we're in here doing what we've been wanting to do and fulfilling these accounts. Like, it was great.
Well, and it was super awesome for the company too, Monarch.
Because now we could do so much more.
Well, I could offer specifically websites and like start just bringing on websites.
Right.
And so that was awesome.
New services,
and it relieved him because now I was giving work to someone else.
Yes.
And he could just like catch up and breathe. And it was like a great move.
So the moral of story, listeners, shoot your shot.
Shoot your fucking shot.
Shoot your shot.
Slide in those DMs.
Is it crazy? Our lives changed because of that one
text.
And I remember specifically when I wrote it. I'm sitting at my house and I was living with my homies and I was just like, I remember literally laying on the ground looking at jobs on KSL being like, fuck, I don't want to do this. Fuck, this would suck.
And then
like,
you
fuck.
See more Papa
Morgan. I see you in case you doing your thing and I was like, shit, dude, I'm just going to
You want to be a part of that.
I'm just going to say what up. Like, hey, dude, whatever you guys are doing, like, I can totally help out with that. Not even thinking about any, because it was literally a video gig that I was thinking it was gonna be. It was like, yo, I'll follow around you guys, make sick guys videos, chill, till I figure out what the fuck I'm really gonna do.
So let's play the hypothetical game. Let's say you didn't slide into the DM, and you're just like, nah, you won't want me or whatever. Where do you think you'd be?
In all reality, so there was one company that did reach out to me to do video ads. So what their job was, and it's crazy because it fits right in with what we do, and it's something that I would love to find a company that does all this stuff, but they don't exist anymore. Is they literally were looking for just people to make edits. So I wouldn't even have to go out and film, I would just edit. And I would make YouTube edits that they would use for ads. So it was essentially, I'm assuming, because I didn't get super deep into it because obviously this all happened, but I'm assuming that they had clients that were looking for specifically YouTube ads, and they were like the place where they would make YouTube ads for other people. And I think I would have started there, and shit, dude, I honestly have no idea.
Right? Who knows?
This just fit so perfect because it was literally what I had been doing for years, and it's something that I like fell in love with because it's like, yo, this is not only freedom, but this is also like fun shit to do.
Yeah.
Like, you're dealing with different clients. You're not stuck in this realm of this is what we do all the time. We get a new account on, all of a sudden I'm an expert in this field. All of a sudden I'm an expert in this industry. All of a sudden I'm an expert in that.
Well, coming back to that being uncomfortable, and shout out to Saul Outdoors because he slid in those DMs. Now he has 3 kids. You know, it happens that way sometimes. But
sometimes that happens.
But being uncomfortable, I think that me and Makoa work so well together because not only is like he fulfillment, I'm sales, but because we do push the envelope. Like when we go to offer a new service, it's not necessarily we're like the 100% best at that service, but we'll figure it the fuck out, and we'll become the best at that service. And so like there's been many times where I've taken a project and been like, well, figure it out, like we'll do it, and it makes him uncomfortable, and he's like, well, fuck, but then next thing I know, he's like the best. I'm like, damn,
out there. Dude, this is actually pretty sick because
and
like,
he gets it, and because I know he's capable of it, I'm like, yeah, just fucking do it, man. And so being uncomfortable, kids.
Dude, and it's like even from the get-go, when I got hired on at that stupid agency, I will say this, out of all the things, it ended not in the best way, but the shit that I learned during that agency was one of those things where it's like, figure it out. Like, we don't have an education. So think about this. People that get their education, they have somebody put this information in front of you. It's not like that information doesn't exist. The only obstacle we have not paying for school is we have to go out and find that information ourselves. Right. There's literally answers to anything that you do.
YouTube University.
Absolutely, 100,000%. Anything that I know with videos, anything I know with photos, anything I know with ads, anything I know with websites, all of it was self-educated.
Yeah, dude, mine's like
100%.
Twitter and YouTube, and I gained most of my insights in marketing, sales, leadership from Twitter, and then any specifics like detailed YouTube.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in the push I don't know who's leading this push, but that university will become very, very tiny compared to where it has been and where
I think it will too. I think there'll be a shift in universities. It will either become more affordable and more universal, or I think it will become obsolete with the amount of information.
I think that there's specific things that require university, right? You want to go be a doctor, you want to go be a lawyer, you want to go and do those type of things for sure. But you want to go and start your own business. You know, one of the funniest things I ever heard, because I went and got my associate's degree because I was like, oh, this is maybe what I need. You don't need it. It's the fucking most expensive drink coaster that I own. Paperweight that I own.
Yep.
The entrepreneur class there is hilarious, right?
Because I would love to know what that is.
Well, if you go to a counselor, well, at least my counselor, and I was like, hey, I want to take the entrepreneurial class because I've always been interested. And she's like, well, you don't really need that class. And I'm like, yeah, but it's just something that I would love to.
It interests you.
Yeah. And she's like, well, it has a really high dropout rate. And I'm like, well, how many credits is it? And she's like, oh no, it's just 3. And I'm like, well, why does it have a high dropout rate? And I could see like in her eyes, like the business side of her, like not trying to like. And she's like, I'll level with you. Everyone who takes that class usually drops out midway through because they realize that they don't need school anymore.
Yeah.
This is at the community college, by the way.
And that's the truth. I will say that experience trumps over any sort of education.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I think there's people out there getting paid what you want to get paid, less qualified than you only because they're putting in the action to fucking do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you go to school, you realize that it's like, oh, I don't need a piece of paper. I need confidence and some experience and some results, and I'm done.
Experience is huge,
and that's why I was so grateful for the agency, because I got thrown into this shit. I don't know how to even do posting, but all of a sudden I'm doing it for people that are paying money for accounts that are literally paying to have somebody post. And that's the experience that you get.
Well, and now
imagine me going on these video things with you guys. It's like I didn't know what I was doing, so I showed up with the iPhone.
Well, now, we'll think about your experience. I know. We'll think about your experience now. Like, how much money have you managed in ads alone? Like what? Like
probably,
how much?
Probably more than $1 million.
Like wild.
Like
literally.
Like Koa has managed so much ad spend.
I've spent so much money for people.
Just on
like dead ass. No, they,
dude,
like legit
on their credit card, their ad spend.
Really. And
sometimes
reality,
just
probably close to $1 million.
Well, and honestly, just to like learn shit too. Like you're like that. You're just getting experience and being like, well, fuck it, we're gonna try this now. Yeah. And so, but now that you know that, that's what makes you so damn good at what you do.
Yes. And it's from doing it with other accounts and seeing what sucks and what doesn't suck.
What's that feeling when you really niche down and you find that ad that is just pumping? Mm-hmm. What does that feel like?
Bro, it's the
best. Oh, he loves it. Like
all of a sudden you get on autopilot. It's like, bro, we're killing it. And guess what? Now I don't have to worry about this. Okay, you find this niche. You find this pocket of this is where the money's at.
It's mostly like new accounts. He stresses mostly on new accounts. Like so brand new accounts that I bring on or we bring on. He as soon as he finds an ad that works and all of a sudden it starts working. Dude, he like breathes this breath of fresh air because he's like, oh fuck, okay, I can breathe now.
Yes.
Before that, he is stressing. Literally,
because you don't know. You have so many variables that can happen, and you're spending other people's money.
Yeah,
which is always scary.
Exactly. But so all of a sudden, I blow through $500, and they're like, "What did I get back? You didn't get back anything."
You're like, "Nah, not this month. Like maybe next month we'll figure it out."
What is the okay? How about the feeling when you can actually see like you can look at the numbers and be like, "Dude, I just made them."
Oh, we had
dude. Okay. That is probably the
tell the story.
That's the best moment is where you figure out how much where you see that what you've done is the best. Because what's that word when you feel like you're not as good as you think you're not as good as you are? What is that word? What you always say?
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
I suffer from imposter syndrome,
and I feel like a lot of people do, especially in what we do. And I do 100%, but. When I have those things that are successful, it's like a boost of confidence. It's like, dude, I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about. I actually know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And
I can see it and I can show it, and then it's just this like it's dude, it keeps you doing what you're doing.
And to your point, Wes, like there's a specific account I'm thinking of where their ads pop off almost every month, and it's such a fulfilling feeling. It's like it's a personal fulfillment. Like, oh shit, we're helping these guys out. Like
whenever I feel bad, I look at this account and I'm like, hell yeah. Guess what?
We made them. We're here though. Yeah, killing it on this one though.
Because that's what I've always wondered. Because at the core of this job, the core of social media marketing / advertising, at the core of it, we're trying to be the best asset to a company and bring them.
Well,
money.
And it just occurred to me that we haven't said this, but we own Monarch Social.
Yeah.
We're the owners of Monarch Social. Yeah. And we do social media marketing.
That's why they did the ad read, because I thought it would be funny.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make that clear. Like, we just started talking about work, but yeah, we own that. But yes.
Yeah. It's at the core, like, you guys, like, the whole, of course, you're a business and you're trying to make money, but in a roundabout way, you exist to help.
And that's the only way the crazy thing about our industry is that's the only way our industry exists.
Right.
Is because if we had clients that we didn't perform for, no one would hire you.
Right.
Exactly.
Like they would not continue to be with you.
Everything we do doesn't cost. You can technically do everything that we do by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not paying for an expert, and you'll understand real quick how hard it really is.
My favorite thing so far, and this isn't to take digs at anyone, my favorite thing now is to educate people on how to do all of it, and they come back and they're like,
"Yep,
I don't know what happened. I spent this much and nothing happened." I'm like, that's why you hire experts.
That's why because you shorten the time. Like, you hire us because, like, obviously you could go to YouTube University, you could do it yourself, you could do it for free, but that literally will take months of figuring it out. And so if you want to shorten that curve, you hire a company like us, or like an industry like us. You know? So.
Yeah.
So that's what you're paying for.
Yeah,
exactly. It took 4 years of my fuck ups to realize what actually works, and you're paying for those 4 years of fuck ups, so you don't have to deal with that. Like that's the whole reason you go with an expert. It's nice.
How do we do the marketing? So, Mr. Staley.
Yeah,
Sorry, I keep saying Stahl. You should have corrected me like 10 minutes ago.
I don't think I heard it.
So Staley. Mr. Staley. So we do everything digital media marketing. And so when you see an ad on Facebook, when you see an ad on Instagram, when you go on Google and you type in a word to look for a barber and the ad pops up, we're doing all of that.
Or YouTube. Say you're looking at trainings on YouTube, all of a sudden it's like, hey, guess what? Buy my course.
Yep. And so, and there's many other aspects of that, but the marketing, or companies hire us to create content for them to post on Instagram or Facebook.
Or run as ads.
And then, so as the marketing, it just depends on, there's a lot that goes into that question because it depends if they're a product or a service. It depends how many products they have, how many services they have. But in the basic form, we have to come up with a marketing funnel to figure out how to start warming people up to this company or product or service. Mm-hmm. And then we remarket and we retarget those people who interact with that ad. And, you get warmed up. And then, by the 4th, 5th time you've seen that ad, hopefully you're making a purchasing decision. So,
or even for, again, that question is extremely broad.
Very broad.
Because me taking a photo of myself is technically marketing myself.
But like how we market for companies is it's a very long, drawn out process of
depends on what they do. It depends on what they do. Sometimes it's not a matter of like getting everything in front of you. It's when you're searching for something specifically, we want to make sure that you're the thing that pops up. Yeah. Like if your house is flooded and you need somebody to come and fix that shit, we want somebody, when they type in, my house flooded, what do? We're the ones who make sure the right answer comes up. If you own a plumbing company or a
repairman,
repairs, whatever,
drywall,
we're the ones that will make sure that's put up.
Cupcakes in Utah.
Absolutely.
Cupcakes in Utah.
Absolutely.
We'll kill it on that one every time.
Yeah. Every time. They honestly just kill it.
They just kill it. So yeah, that's a hard question to answer. But basically, we make a marketing funnel, and we funnel people through that marketing funnel to make them make a purchasing decision.
And what's really fun is when you if you ever have the opportunity. These guys are on social media. You can reach out to pick their brains even deeper. It gets fascinating.
It's so deep. It's so deep.
It's an art.
It really is. It really is. When I heard you talking about the difference between two different lookalike audiences and A/B marketing and all the split marketing, all the whole different thing, I'm sitting there like, dude, this is a fucking. He's painting a picture.
It's true.
And trying to make sure everything fits perfectly.
And that's what blew my mind when I got introduced to the whole industry. I was like, holy shit, I thought this was such a simple thing. It's such a simple concept. But there's so much depth behind the simplicity of it. And that's what true marketing is.
Yeah, and when we brought you on and you went through your training with me, yours truly, and I was whiteboarding all this. Dude, I just saw your wheels turning, but I had to explain all that because
it's fascinating.
It goes so deep. It's not, people think of social media marketing and they're like, oh, just post on Instagram and just boost a post and just make an ad.
The funniest to go off that, the funniest thing is you were telling me about that in one of the first meetings you ever did, and I never said this because I did that, and then you were blatantly saying like, yeah, that never works. I'm like, yeah, it didn't work. It definitely didn't work.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Because the problem is with Facebook specifically, if you're doing it by yourself, right? You see if I spend $100, I could get in front of potentially 2 million people. That's got to be good.
Well, that's how they get you.
Yeah,
exactly. Facebook is looking for those one-offs that want to be their own thing, and then all of a sudden they waste. Again, $500.
And then you realize when it comes back, you just targeted 2 million people who don't give a single fuck about
what you do. Yeah,
exactly. You just lost all your money.
And then to throw a wrench into that, Facebook's algorithms and Google algorithms change all the time. And so you have to stay up on top of what actually is working and not working. So, it gets deep. That gets deep real quick.
And it's one of those conversations where if you're fascinated with people who are passionate about what they do, or just if you're fascinated with how the world's running when you're not paying attention to it, dig into it.
Yeah. Marketing's a really fun thing. There's a lot to do with psychology in it. There's a lot to do with just time.
That's a question I want to know. What's your favorite part of marketing?
psychology.
The psychology behind it?
Yeah, like what makes a person tick, like what's going to make a person. That's why I'm so big on. That's why when we have our meetings, sorry, Wes, when we have our meetings, I'm always like, how's our copy? What does the copy look like? What is the media? What's working the best? Because I think the psychology part of things is really fascinating to me. You know, I mean, if you just want to half-ass it and you have a big budget, you can put out as much content as you want, and listen, you'll get sales.
Sure.
Yeah,
but when
it's like
you really
a forced way.
But when you refine it to like figure out what's going to work the best, there's psychology behind it. Like what is going to make a person, what's going to create the need, the sense of urgency, like what is the language that does that? What is the media? Is it a video? Is it a text? Is it a GIF? What is that's going to create that experience for a person to say, oh, here's my credit card?
And the fascinating thing about that, but also the frustrating thing, that's always evolving.
Always. Exactly.
Well, because based on demographic, yes. I mean, there's these time-tested principles that are typically true.
Right.
You know, like if I was to say, hey guys, we're having a 50% off sale, it's only going to last 2 days.
It's going to work.
People are going to be like,
90% of the time,
right
90% of the time, people are going to be like, oh, I don't want to miss out. That's psychology. But with generational things, it changes from generation to generation. So like if you have an older generation, you might want to provide more value. If you want a younger generation, it might have to be more hip and cool and popular, and you have to present them those different ways.
Well, that's what I think is fascinating about how Monarch is ran as like the face of Monarch, hip, cool, new, like what's going on now, because
there's a reason that we did that, is because we realized that we didn't want to wake up and go social media market for a dentist or a chiropractor.
That's boring as hell.
That's boring as hell. We wanted to like hip, fun, awesome companies to work with. And if you look at our clients, they're sick. They're so fun. Dude, they are so cool of clients.
Well, and I think going back to the psychology of that too, I feel like in my brain, maybe I'm just unique, if I see a company that is doing new, hip, innovative things, I'm personally more likely to look at them versus one that looks like traditional rinse and repeat from the early 2009.
Yeah. We just talked about this on our podcast. Shout out Monarch Social podcast.
Every platform
you think of, Monarch Social. We just talked about this on our podcast, where we're not doing anything crazy than the majority of agencies in Utah. Like we're a dime a dozen. The thing that sets us apart is a couple things. We're hip and cool, and we're trying innovative new things. And I feel like with most of the agencies out there that are doing social media marketing are very old school in their way of thought. They're just like, oh yeah, we'll run your ads. Oh yeah, we'll make you a website. And with us, like we try to take it to the next level by introducing certain things. But
as well as I feel like a big thing that sets us apart is we genuinely want you to win. Yeah. Like we genuinely want you to succeed, because the more you succeed, the more we succeed.
We become a team with our clients, and I think
I feel like there's this huge split between agency and company, where it's like, okay, we hired these people, they're not with us, we just hired them.
Yeah, and listen, I'm fairly new to their team and the company, and I promise you guys, I'm not saying this because I work with them. The care that they have for the clients is, let me put it this way. I haven't heard talks about money in front of me, but I've had every single moment is talks about clients and how they're doing and what they can do next for them.
Yeah.
If that doesn't show, if that doesn't show the care, I don't know. I don't know what does. You know?
It's true. It's so true though. Because I want all of the accounts that we work with to succeed, and I also want us to be an outlet for them if they have questions about things. I feel like transparency is extremely important in what we do.
Well, that's you. I think you were the one who brought that up. Is the having them be able to just text us.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean Makoa, that's
all day.
Like
new age.
We'll have conversations at 10 o'clock at night over things that is not necessarily super. It's not about
client
ads.
Has a shower thought.
It's lit exactly, and I want us to be that outsource. We're not teammates.
Yeah, I encourage clients to be like, hey, if you have an issue, a problem, something come up, like text your account manager.
Yes.
Like I want that to be normal, and everyone at Monarch knows that because that's our culture. That's our culture, is to like, oh, we're part of the team. We're not just an outsourced agency 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. No, like if something's going on, you need to like reach out.
Well, the texting thing, it seems like that's going to be the next big shift, is people don't even I mean, how many people really like getting on calls nowadays?
Well, this is my thought, and I've had this idea for a long time. We just haven't been able to get to the point where we can create something like this. I would love for us, and I'm almost hesitant to even say this, so somebody steals it.
Ooh.
Everyone, close your ears.
Everyone,
I would
steal
love
our idea.
I would love for us to create an app where they can literally, everything is all in that app. They can check on anything whenever they want, live time, as well as message us if they have any questions. So
kind of
it's
like
not
a Monday for clients.
For clients, not even just Monday though, not like tasks, but more of like, imagine like a Discord, have a Discord with your stats with it, where they can reach out to us and have somebody live at hit them back up.
That's cool.
There's a couple other reasons behind
if
that.
you create apps, reach out.
Yes, because we can sell that to other agencies.
Well, we'll prove it out. We'll test it out.
I like that.
Exactly.
Ooh. Distributing software.
Sorry, Wes. I didn't mean for this to be like a Monarch conversation.
No. I'm trying to take a direction.
It just kind of went that way.
Well, and the thing is, and I don't know if Morgan told you this, but I have us slated for up to 3 hours if we choose to.
Let's go.
You know, if we choose to. We don't have to, of course. But
yeah, I'm good.
There's a lot of gentlemen.
There's a lot of gentleman drinks below me.
So let's side shift. This is still a business related question, but a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I saw some individuals talking about this online, and it turned into a big thread. And I just want to simply ask it: what's your guys' relationship with money?
What do you mean, so?
Do you have a good relationship? Do you have a bad relationship? Do you have an unhealthy?
Oh, me with money personally?
Yeah.
I will say this, and this actually feeds into the way me and Morgan work well together, is I am very on top of money. I will not spend money when shit's not supposed to be spent, and I will absolutely... I took a math and personal finance class when I was in high school, and it literally changed my life.
It's checks and balances.
It is.
Okay?
Morgan's out here trying to spend money, and I'm like, dude, we don't need to spend this. Because I would much rather have a huge amount of money that we could spend when we need to spend it. But I respect this because a lot of decisions where we've spent money where I've been like, oh, I don't know if we should spend it on this, has paid off. Right. And I'm learning this more and more. I will say that stocks and crypto has literally opened my eyes to a whole nother world of like risk it to make it big.
Right.
Or play conservative and be happy with where you're at and not want to grow any higher.
Okay, aside from business money, what about your guys' personal money?
Personal
is awesome with
I'm
money,
on top
dude.
of money. I've got budgets for fucking everything.
With me, dude, I was like, I'm like terrible with money. Honestly, I can say this, I'm getting better. But for a long time, I just spend. And one of the reasons why I was just never taught. I literally was just never taught how to like budget. I was never taught like how to finance, like none of that. So as Morgan got money in, Morgan's like, oh shit, I got money in, let's go party. Like case in point, I think I spent like 15 grand in one weekend in Vegas just having fun.
See, and that's why I say that math and personal finance class changed my look out on all finance.
I went out to California with my buddy, and I think I spent like a couple grand, you know. Now Morgan's like, oh, I can't just do that. And so I'm honestly getting very better at money, but it's definitely a learned skill with me.
What do you guys look at, like when you think of money? Is it something that you look at as like, okay, I need this to survive, I need this so I can have fun, I need this to be able to feel comfortable? Like what is it about money? Because we're all like,
money is two things. Money is peace of mind, but it's also stability. And
that's the biggest one for me, is stability.
And for me, you know, like when I started business, I said this on my very first podcast I was with you, is when I first started a business, it was I wanted all the clams in the sea. I wanted all the money. The reason I got into business, because someone has my money and I'm going to go take it from them. Like, those are my clams. I want all the money. As I've progressed in life and have gotten a little bit more mature, I realized that freedom is really what pushes me. It's not just money. And so now I look at money as a way to bless others. I try to help others when I can. I'm very generous with my money. I don't know. It's just different. It's changed.
Yeah.
It's changed.
It's evolved.
It's evolved. That's a good way to put it. It's evolved. But for me, it was how I look at money is it's obviously peace of mind and stability, but also it's a tool. Money is a tool for sure.
It opens up opportunities, and it's also like quality of life thing.
Quality of life is another thing.
But like you said, stability is probably one of the biggest things for me. because just doing things that we've done, it's always kind of feels like it's up and down, up and down. It's not like your typical 9 to 5 where you know where your paycheck's going to be always. With where we're at now, I'm super proud of us because we are stable. We're more stable than we've ever been. And looking at other agencies, way more stable than we was when I was doing.
Yeah, there was horror stories that you've told.
Horror stories.
Where you weren't paid for like 4 months.
Literally. And so, me on a personal level, yeah, money is like a stability thing. But the way I look at it is you can budget out your lifestyle. However you want to live, you can make a budget that fits in the way you want to live. If you want to spend a shit ton of money and live this lavish life, you can even budget that where you're still not having anything slip through the cracks, but you know you're budgeting for this. Like, personally, I put aside money that I'm going to spend. Well, I put aside money that's going to every single aspect of my life that I want it to go to, that I want to live my way I want to live.
Well, Wes, me and you were just talking about this is, let's say you're making $1,000 a month, right? Your life is going to accommodate to that $1,000, like that $1,000, right? When you make $2,000, guess what? Your life will accommodate to that $2,000. And your quality of life will not change if you don't understand money or how to, budget it or put stuff away if your spending habits don't change. And so I don't care if you're making $2,000 a month or $10,000 a month. The problems will be the same if you look at money as, oh, I have money in the bank, I can use it. And so what has to change, like, for you to be stable, and this is what I've had to learn, and I'm saying this from experience, guys, is I had to learn just because I'm making more money or getting more money in doesn't mean I spend more money.
Yes.
Right. And that's what happened to me. That was the pitfall, because I went, in my first company, I went from making like nothing to all of a sudden I was bringing in like 5 G's a month, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, I can do whatever I want. And I was just spending on like food. I was eating out all the time. I was going on trips. I was just like getting massages, like whatever it was. I was just spending money. And then all of a sudden I'd look at the end, like 2 weeks would go by, and I'd be like, oh man, I can't wait to get paid. And it's like, dude, you're making like $2,500 a check, and where the hell does this go?
Right.
Oh, I got a new car, so now my car payment went out. Oh, I got a bigger house, my rent went up. Yep. Whatever it is, like if you don't understand like how to budget it and how to like be financially smart with your money, it doesn't matter if you're making $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month. You have to understand, this is the lifestyle that I have, and this is the budget to go out. This is the budget to go eat out or to go on trips for the month, whatever it is.
Yeah. I feel like obviously live below your means. Like live as frugally as you can, but at the same time you want to still have this happiness of life. Right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like be frugal, but also like just put it in your budget. Like, hey, I'm gonna do XYZ this month. I'm gonna.
I know I want to spend $1,000 on myself this month, and I need to make sure that I have that.
I need to travel.
Sure that I still have it.
I need to travel this month, and I want to eat out this month, but I'm not going to eat out every day this month. You know what I mean?
Dude, for me, biggest thing is I know exactly where every single dollar goes. Every single dollar, down to the T.
Koa is really, really good
extremely micromanaged on where money goes, when money comes back. If something comes up, I have it calculated where, okay, this money will come back at this point. One thing that has opened my eyes, though, is stocks. Shout out to Doge, because Doge is making me bank right now.
Where are we at?
A lot, dude. I was looking at it, I was like 72.
We're at 72 on Doge?
72. I don't know if it's still at 72. It was at 72 when I looked.
Guys, I sold all my Doge, and I'm just really sad about it.
And this is one of those things where it's like you have to play the long games. Shit's gonna happen, and at the same time, when shit happens, you have to be able to have something in your back pocket to fix those things.
I think the biggest thing that I'm realizing is, multiple sources of revenue make things feel really good.
Hell yes. Hell yeah. Literally, that's the best.
Hey, Dalton, what's up, man?
Thanks, Stingray. Thanks, Steph. I appreciate you guys. And shout out to Dalton. Oh, real quick on Dalton, when you were doing your sponsor.
Yeah.
I use Happiest number 8.
Oh.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
But I use number 8. It's CBD with melatonin at night.
Help you sleep a little
dude,
bit.
I'm an entrepreneur, and it's so hard to sleep. It's so hard, like turning off my brain at night. I've been using his for probably about a month now, and it's my favorite thing. I do it every night, and it helps me sleep great. I'm not groggy. I'm not groggy in the morning. It's just puts you to sleep, and I love it. So shout out to Happiest. Yeah, I have to.
And I'm a firm believer in, if I'm gonna have someone sponsor my podcast, I have to like the product. Dude, I've used their number 2 daily. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it really is.
I love his product. So.
Yeah. Same with my other two sponsors. It's weird how Monarch, I'm getting a website from them. It's weird how Dark Prime Collectibles, I go hang out with them every Sunday. Like, you got to know your sponsors.
You got to know your sponsors. But...
no, shout out to Dalton.
Yeah,
big shout out to Dalton.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Right, baby.
Having multiple streams of revenue is
that's a new
important.
thing for me. Right now, what it is, a big thing for me personally, is trying to make more money.
Yeah.
Well, you want your money to make money.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you have a huge savings account, why do you have that money just sitting there when you could put that money into stocks and have the potential? Yes, there's a risk of it dropping, and that's my biggest reason not to do it, right?
Dude,
but if it makes me think, if I would have put everything that I owned into Dogecoin, I mean, a month ago even, bro, I would have quadrupled my savings account.
Yeah, but that's like the coulda, woulda, shoulda.
I know, obviously, 2020 hindsight always, but it's like,
you just diverse. Like, you have to have diversity in like where you're putting your money, whether it's a side hustle or if you're doing something on the side, or if it's a savings account, or if it's But you want your money to make money, and
you want your money to make money. But at the same time, what you were saying, Wes, is the having multiple revenue or multiple sources of income. That's a huge thing.
That's when I bought in at Doge. So just think if I would have thrown in a couple thousand.
I don't know.
At what price?
We got 6.
Oh no.
He bought it at that. I bought.
Oh my god!
$50 got me 24,000 Dogecoins when I bought in.
Are you kidding me? And did you sell that shit?
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
Oh my god, bro! You could be.
I failed the Reddit community. My platinum hands didn't hold.
So we did the math the other day, Wes. I sold.
Oh, with Bitcoin.
I sold some of my Class A ownership in my last company for $25,000, and I had $25,000. And my friend said, "Oh, you should buy Bitcoin,
bro. You should throw all of it in Bitcoin." What was it, like $150 at the time?
It was $148. And I looked into it, and I was like,
I did the math on it yesterday.
So wait.
Oh.
So I looked into it, and I was like, "Oh, this is sketchy. Like, what the hell? Like, no way." We did the math. If I would be
just measly $10 million.
$10 million in the bank account right now. If I just would have put my 25 in Bitcoin.
Hindsight, man.
That hurts.
So put some in and just leave it.
My goal is to split 33. So I want 33 of my savings or net in crypto, stock, real estate.
Got you, dude. Real estate is
that's
huge
healthy.
one for me.
That's very healthy.
I have this whole lifestyle I want to live, and it involves real estate and Airbnb.
I want the laptop life.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's why we do what we do, is because of that. Like, that's exactly why.
Yeah, Koa is like the epitome of the laptop life. Like, he travels all the time. Yeah, dude, like that's like 3 weeks. He's been in like 3 different cities. Like, you were in like Portland, San Francisco. You were down in where was your family? Mesquite.
Is that budgeting, or is that like?
He can work from anywhere. That's that laptop life. He works from anywhere.
Also, yes.
But yeah, he budgets. It's Makoa.
Dude, but I budget like for everything.
He's a budget whore.
But at the same time, there's a lifestyle I want to live, and it involves traveling a lot. That's why my sweet honeybee at home is a flight attendant.
Genius.
It's a perfect match. Like, it's beautiful, and it's
I want
beautiful.
A sweet honeybee, damn it.
The beautiful thing about it is,
how do I get one of those?
Is she has the same mindset. We want to have this lifestyle where we can go and come. In our reality, dude, I'll be totally transparent. We want to live in Hawaii. Like, that's why I want to have my kids. I want to do all of that stuff out in Hawaii. I want them to live that island life.
Yeah.
But I have to be able to come back home. I have to be able to come back here.
You need home base.
Yes. And so I want home base to be out there, but I want to be able to come back here and do work and make. Island terminology is mainland, right?
Yeah.
The whole 48 states here, and then island life, which is out in Hawaii. And so the only way you can make that mainland money, because there's limited jobs you can really do on an island.
If you're gonna work at Dole, you better find something.
I'm not gonna work at Dole. I don't want to work in a hotel. I don't want to do any of that shit. To make mainland money, you have to be able to come back here and go back there, come back here and go back there. And so we're in the midst of crafting this life that we want to live.
I don't have lots of regrets in my life, because I feel like people who live with too many
regrets. Yeah, you do. You sold Doge.
That is a huge.
That's my number one regret. No,
bro.
I had. So when I was knocking doors in Houston, like a lot of people, you really hate it, and it was near end of summer, and I'm like, okay, well, we're just gonna head back home. I had an opportunity to go, if I would have taken it, to go to Hawaii and knock doors.
Oh yeah, that's what opened my eyes to it.
Why?
Hawaii is expensive.
Yeah,
it is.
And my time at Houston was profitable, but I was worried that there wasn't going to be any profit to be made in Hawaii.
Was it with solar?
That fixed mindset.
It was with
security.
Security.
Got you. See, I remember when there was this huge buzz about Hawaii and solar, and that's when I had a bunch of friends that went out there. And I was younger; they were obviously older, but they went out there, and that's what opened my eyes to this whole knocking doors possibility, and that's really what got me in the door.
I don't think either of my friends did super well, but they had a great time.
I couldn't even imagine doing it in Hawaii. Think about it. You get to hit a whole neighborhood and be done with the whole fucking island.
You're right. That's the main reason why I didn't go. Not that I'm trying to justify.
You're like,
it. I regret not going, but I started looking at shit and it was like a gallon of milk was like $8.
Yeah.
And that was like my first thing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm not.
Yeah, the cost of living's way too high. I'm not gonna.
I disagree because guess what? They still got a Costco out there. Costco prices are still the same. Yeah.
You would be fine.
You would be fine. There's Costco.
There's Walmart.
The only thing that fluctuates is milk,
like produce, probably.
And gas.
Yeah.
Gas is hella expensive, but bro, you have limited land to drive.
Regardless, I mean, I didn't go. I still want to go. I've never been to Hawaii, and it is on my list of places I'd like to at least visit.
We should do a Monarch retreat in Hawaii.
No, Monarch retreat, 4th of July, Sacramento.
Oh yeah, Sacktown.
Sacktown. Prepare yourselves.
Can we go try and find the Diaz brothers? Is that a weird thing?
No, they are in Stockton and in the Bay. That's like right there.
Yeah,
we can go there.
I don't want to I don't know what I would say to them.
What up?
You say Stockton, bitch.
Yeah, Stockton.
I don't know what you say.
I'd probably say, "What's up, G?" And then just like walk away.
Something like really ghetto.
Yeah, something super ghetto.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, yo, you guys are vegan? Fucking dope,
2020 happening. I'm hold my beer by dropping a fucking rocket random into our... that's happening this weekend.
Yeah, that could happen.
They don't know where it's going to hit.
Utah is in one of the places that they're estimating it will probably hit.
Wait, what?
Parts of the shit.
100%.
What happened? Yeah, okay.
KSL and Fox.
Okay, so...
Wait, what happened? Yeah,
tell them what.
So, China shot this
huge rocket.
Okay.
And something fucked up, and you know how like rockets have like the
parts that come
thing?
off, yeah.
The booster,
the thing is 10 stories tall, and it didn't detach.
Wait, how many tons is it?
I don't know.
Dude, it's like it's a lot. Dude, it's like 6 tons or something like that. So it's like crazy huge and big. It's like 10 stories, like 6 tons.
It shot up, didn't detach, took this 10-story multi-ton object. Now it's falling back down, and Utah is a place where
they don't know where it's going to hit.
No way.
Yeah.
KSL.
They have no idea where it's going to hit.
I saw KSL and Fox put out like
a thing like,
hey, Utah. Yeah, Utah's a place that could potentially be hit.
They better be able to calculate that shit. Like, when's 2021?
No. Some stuff, like most of it's going to burn up in the atmosphere, but you know, I was talking to my dad about it, and he's like, dude, think of like a metal plate that's like a couple 100 pounds. That's blowing up a house.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
What's the thing right by the police station? That's a museum. The
Oh,
Leonardo.
Yeah, the Leonardo.
The Leonardo. Okay, out in front of Leonardo, they have a piece of a space station booster.
Yeah,
and you go and see that thing, dude, and it is huge.
You realize
huge.
It's happening in the next 24 hours. It's coming into our atmosphere.
Holy shit!
Buckle up, kids.
Yeah, buckle up. I just want to go try and, like, if I see it, I want to go try and see where it lands. How cool would it be to have a piece of that history?
Really cool.
Well, honestly, in all reality, like, if that was to hit you, couldn't you sue? Couldn't you make hella money if you got hit by that?
Who are you going to sue, China?
I guess you're right. It's China
like
that
the
did this?
Republic of China?
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
And shows its potential landing area. Oh, man, I want to see this. I would love to see the potential landing area. See, what I was reading is they thought it was going to, like, land in Egypt, like Africa. But if something happens, since there's so much space, that's a huge distance. Like
if this gets tapped,
literally,
it's gonna go countries.
And now it's in Utah. Now it's like, oh well, now Salt Lake.
Big facts. If you get hit, you definitely do die.
yeah.
If your car gets hit, like
I don't.
Ghost, you can sue every. You can
Guess you
sue.
can
Ghost
sue
you
whoever
can sue
wish.
whoever.
Or I guess you can sue whoever you wish.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, I saw that
No,
comment
20
and I had to bring it up.
2021 though's been kind of nice.
I think 2021's been great.
It has.
It's
Well, I mean,
been really
in
good.
comparison to 2020.
Yeah, 2020 was sucky, but 2021 is good. Like, I went into the store without a mask. That was great.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. We're training without a mask now. Like,
I remember the
training.
first day. So shout out to the best pizza place that I know, Z Brothers. You guys should sponsor us.
We've
I
been
put-
there multiple times.
I put Makoa on, or not Makoa, Jesus. I put Morgan onto that place, and we met there one day for lunch, and it was the first time that like we just were able to walk in without a mask, and
Oh,
I felt uncomfortable because I was like, oh, this is so weird. I don't remember what it's like.
I know.
People see my face now.
I know.
Like,
The first time it hit me was when we went to that conference down in Provo.
Oh, yeah, we'd have to have a mask.
And we
on.
walked in because we were like masked up, and all of a sudden, we're
Which
like,
of the-
oh, this guy doesn't have a mask. Oh shit, nobody in this whole bitch has a mask.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
it was so sick.
I'm excited for it. I think 2021's been awesome. Lots of growth for
yeah,
us.
2021 was
And
rad.
less masks, so.
Do you think that? Let's talk about COVID for a second. Do you think it's going to be something that is just going to? We'll have to deal with
Disappear?
it every winter, or do you think it'll just disappear?
I think this year will be a big test of that
I don't know.
because I've heard both sides. I think I've heard people say, oh, as soon as flu season comes back, that it's going to be like this whole another spike in COVID cases. But me personally, I would hope that we're over that. Like everybody's got the opportunity to get a vaccine, and in all reality, even if you
Has anyone gotten a vaccine?
I haven't.
no, but I also had COVID,
Oh, yeah, you had COVID.
so it's like I feel like I'm already.
Did you
immune
have
to
COVID?
it.
No.
No.
Couple scares.
See, that's the thing is, if I was in a
Couple
position
scares.
like you guys, then I probably would get vaccinated.
I don't.
Personal, and it's not like no political stance on it
Yeah.
at all. But like me personally, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm vulnerable, I guess, in a way, and
You're vulnerable. I'm obese
but
and have asthma.
but that's also coming from me having it. That's also from me
Yeah,
having it.
Um,
It's shitty, dude. Having COVID was fucking crazy. It was a crazy fucking thing. Like
I'm
not being able to smell and taste, that was crazy.
I'm not a conspiracy guy, or I'm not a political guy, or anything like that. But I will humbly wait for maybe the second or third tested rounds of vaccination.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I
There's
want
a
more
lot of
testing.
people who got the
Makes sense.
Johnson & Johnson one, and
they're
then it
fucked
got
up.
pulled.
Yeah, it got pulled.
And that's the main reason why I didn't do the first one. Is
I just think it was rushed. That's all.
not that I think it doesn't sound like anyone's. I mean, the numbers of people who are having really bad times with the Johnson & Johnson one are low. Still, I will just quietly wait until
And I
maybe
agree
the
with that.
second or third
I
test rounds.
I almost never buy the first generation of anything.
exactly. That's kind of how I look at it. I'm cool with the second or third generation.
And if it wasn't for the fact that I had COVID, so I'm not in any rush. Obviously, I haven't been vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I will at some point down the line. And this might be a shitty way to look at it, but if it impacts my social life to the point where if you're not vaccinated, you can't go places, then I will.
That's my number one thing.
Same, Brittany. I've never gotten the flu shot, and I've never really had the flu. I think I've had the flu once out of like how many years?
Yeah, I've had the flu. I think I've had the flu a couple times, but I've never got the flu shot.
I've gotten the
Same.
flu. I've gotten the flu a few times.
No.
But you survive.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my next question is kind of goes with this. So, with 2020 being a year that is going to go in the history books, right? For COVID, for political reasons, for movements, for the crazy natural disasters from, Australian wildfires and all that.
Kobe.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Kobe, R.I.P. Gigi, R.I.P. We'll never... This year will be studied in at least American history for the time, for the extended future. If you guys were to give a paragraph to people studying history of 2020, what would you tell them? Let you think on it.
That's true. I would say some shit like, man,
The year
that was like a fucking horror
America
movie.
was manipulated by the media and the power and influence of believing the hype train.
That's actually very good. That's a good way to say it. because I feel like a lot of things got blown out of proportion.
Yeah, things was like left and right crazy.
But it was also
this
because
and
we
that.
were all hoarded in. We couldn't actually go out, and so it's like we only had our phones.
I think
to
that
see
drastically
everything.
changed and is a big reason too why the political landscape was so
So crazy and
Scary.
hostile.
scary and hostile.
Dude, like think about how much we heard about Trump last year and like a president.
Every single day you would look on. And
Out-
you wouldn't even look for it. It would be
out-
fucking thrown in your face.
And how many times have we heard about Biden?
I don't follow
honestly, I
it.
don't
Like,
even
we
heard that.
don't. Like, we
I
don't.
literally
The, the only time I ever see anything is usually like someone who's like,
sleeping Biden.
yeah, or someone's like, Trump, come back. Like that's the only time that I ever see anything political things.
Yeah, I don't know. I think 2020 was a crazy fucking year because of crazy media bias on both sides.
No.
Listen, I don't believe in a two-party system, so I'll just say that right now. But there was media bias on both sides, and both sides crazily hyped unnecessary things that I think riled up a lot of uneducated people, and it turned into a huge shit show. And I think 2021 we're slowly but surely easing back into pre-2020.
I'll be honest with you. I got to a point in 2020 where I was like really worried that with the political landscape, there could have potentially been
A civil war.
I wouldn't say necessarily a civil war, but more harm than there should have been.
100%.
You
Well, dude,
know-
it was crazy. We had like it was so insane. Think about the Capitol got rioted.
Yeah.
Like there was some of the craziest shit that went down.
And we were getting told like by the trusted media sources, like through different means, like if the opposing political party doesn't agree with you, they're the enemy.
Yeah.
That's like, I hate to bring this up. I'm not a historian. I don't know a lot about it. But if you go look at like Iran in like the 80s, 70s and 80s, beautiful. That place was blossoming.
Really?
And then what
Yeah.
happened?
Beautiful women too.
Political just turmoil.
Crazy.
And now it looks like a fucking
War zone.
War zone.
It just looks like they went back in
It's
time.
scary. It looks like they went back thousands of years.
Yeah.
And at some point I was like, man, is this going to happen to us?
No,
Are we
I
not going to
don't.
be able to deal with this political turmoil?
Listen,
It's gonna
like,
suffocate the government.
Businessly speaking, like, okay, rile some feathers. Like, speaking of business, I'm very Republican, if you will, businessly speaking, like taxes and those type of things, spending. I'm very Republican in that way, but everything else, I'm very either liberal or other side. But no, I never thought it would be that way. And when you say trusted news sources, like, there is only a couple of news sources that I will even.
I should
fuck
say
with.
trusted news sources for the individual who is into politics.
Your average
They're
American.
trusted.
Yeah, your
They're
average.
trusted.
Well, I don't even know. I feel like media. It's opened my eyes to how corrupt our media is.
Yeah.
100%.
yeah,
I don't
yes,
follow
yes, yes.
any. If
Any of
I
it.
don't find it on Reddit, I don't believe it until I
Yeah,
do research.
exactly.
You
And
know?
God bless the fact that we have the fucking internet,
Yeah.
because now we can have real opinions from real people rather than being fed whatever some higher anarchy wants to feed everybody.
I can't remember the last time I've watched Fox or CNN or any of the ones that are politically affiliated.
But our parents, that
Yeah.
older
And
generation.
exactly,
that's what they do.
where they
They
get
eat
it
it
from.
up.
They eat
And
it
it's
up.
going to be interesting to see how everything evolves, because I feel like our generation is so against higher media, those main media streams, because everybody knows they're corrupt.
No.
Like, there's so much information out there that has proven that what they say is not only the same across certain channels because they're, again, controlled by something higher up than them, but it's also just like like there's a lot of shit that's not true.
It's a very interesting landscape. I think that there's room for really unbiased media to come out. I think that there's room for improvement in government. And I feel like there's room for so many things. I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with what's happening right now in the world, but I think that there's a lot of room, and it's a really great landscape for some innovative, creative, new ideas and new people to come out to kind of take that banner.
Yeah. I agree. Funny enough, and this goes along with it, but I'll get there. I had recently dove back into South Park as like a side thing, because I remember I'm on this kick lately of like trying to find things I liked as a child and see if I'd still like them now. Like,
See if it's still relatable.
Yeah, watch Tom and Jerry. That shit
Okay.
still fucking slaps. Still this
Really?
hilarious. But I was watching some South Park, and I hadn't watched it for 10 some odd years. And one of the episodes one of the kids makes a school newspaper, and his whole entire thing is no one can sponsor it, no one can pay for an article or anything like that. It's 100% just the news.
Yeah.
And everyone starts falling in love with it, except for like the local like newspapers and stuff. And they start trying to kill him pretty much because he's like,
because you're
he's showing them the news.
Exactly.
He's taking away their business.
Exactly.
Like, and even though there's tons of jokes and it's really raunchy and silly, the core of that's fascinating. Is it impossible for people to really bring just news because either money is so easy, like it's hard to say no to big dollars, or is it just a landscape that is scary to get into?
Well, I think that the hard thing is I mean, it comes down to money, and that's what sucks.
Absolutely, it literally comes down to money.
Because, for example, if someone knew how to make money off homeless people, there would be no homeless people. The hard thing is there's no money in it, and that's why we have a homeless problem. But with news, it's the same thing. Like, to get news out there, unbiased, good news, it takes money, and usually those are sponsored by big corporations or companies that have an agenda. And the moment that's why I'm saying it's a really interesting landscape right now, because the person that figures out how to get funded by a very non-biased corporation or company, which usually doesn't exist, I think it'll be really interesting of like where news or media or facts come from, or where we get our news, especially our generation, like boomers, if you will, older generation, they have their news sources, but the younger generations, like, we're going to be looking somewhere else, and that's going to be the interesting thing to see how that evolves.
Well, this is my biggest fear, is having people that we trust that are like real people talking about the news, them being bought out by something bigger than them, and all of a sudden that gets changed. The way I look at it is, for example, tech reviews, right? For a long time, you would get honest tech reviews. But now you have companies sponsoring tech reviews, and they're going to say good shit about that company.
That's actually like one of the platforms that I think will be awesome for news, and which is awesome for news is YouTube. YouTube, because you can monetize yourself off of YouTube without a corporation if you have a following. Like, I follow plenty of people on Twitch, on YouTube, on these different platforms that are not sponsored by people, but they're monetizing what they're doing, and it's very unbiased, or it's very just
the news.
It's just the news, or certain things. Like, I follow stock people, I follow different business information people.
I could see that being more.
And so I can see YouTube, just like tech reviews, coming out and doing something, but now you need to send people places. They need to go experience that and make sure that it's like either eyewitness or reporting on it, but that's where you need your money to go.
I think I agree with you. I think that's probably where the future will be. Is I don't know if necessarily like Fox or CNN will stop being relevant, but I think for our generation and younger, they're just going to choose to follow YouTube personalities who are talking about specific news.
That's what we're doing right now.
What if those personalities get corrupt? What if those personalities start saying false shit?
That's with anybody though.
That's with anything. I feel like it's almost easier than getting a whole corporation. Like, I don't know.
Corporations have agendas. Usually.
But like we said, money backs everything. And so why would somebody not get paid?
That's why I said it's hard to say no to the dollar, right?
It's very hard to say no to the dollar.
When does the dollar get too big for you to change what you think? You know, like
to change.
Because for me,
everybody's got a price tag.
About $5 million.
Yeah, for me, I'll be honest with you. Like if
somebody realistically was coming and say, "I'll give you $100 million or $100,000 right now to save this," a lot of people would say yes.
A lot of people are taking that deal.
That's what I'm saying.
$100,000 is a shit ton of money.
And then you know that one person's going to be like, like $5,000.
I'm going to hold out and I'm going to be real and authentic.
Until that person shows up.
Until all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'll give you $1 million. All right, I'll change it.
Hey, I'm holding strong, boys. I'm trying. I did have a interesting opportunity where someone had slid into my DMs and basically talked about how they basically put podcasts underneath them. They give them a budget. They let you make whatever content you want, but it did have an agenda. There was things that you had to cater to them. There was things that you had to basically like toe the line, I guess you could say.
With what things can you say?
Political
things?
A lot of political things. I would have had to have implemented political talk, which I don't.
Wow.
And then I would have had to have leaned more on, I was getting mixed up. Lean further left. I think. I can't remember. And the dollar looked fairly nice to me.
Right. And it's hard to not. And I'll take it outside of politics or anything. Let's go into fucking boxing right now. Okay.
Logan Paul.
So
baby.
think about
Got that hat, bitch.
Is Floyd selling out right now? Is he taking this and going to lose this fight?
Bro, his team is the money team. Yes, dude, he's a seller. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so you think he's
he
gonna lose
loves
this?
money,
So
dude.
you think he's gonna lose this fight?
I don't know if he'll
Because
lose
guess what?
it.
Okay, and it makes me think like the whole conspiracy
But just
behind
taking
Jake
it.
saying that he paid out Ben to lose this
Okay,
fight.
before we get too hyped on this, I do want to point out that this exact formula is boxing to a T.
Yeah.
Right? If you have a personality and you're getting popular, and this is why it blows
Yes,
my mind
it
why
is.
everyone is getting so uppity about Jake and what he's doing. Was the Ben Askren fight stage? Yeah. But that happens in every boxing match. Like,
Look at the
like
whole fucking thing as a
every
whole, bro.
professional boxer, if you look at their first like 5-10 fights, for most people, they're tuner fights. They go out there and they look really good. They have crazy knockouts or do crazy things, and then they start building the hype because that's where the money is. They're doing the same thing with Jake. But here's the thing that people don't want to hear. The kid's not that bad.
He's not, dude. I honestly, when that fight went down, I put money on Ben, and I didn't do any research. I didn't look into any of this shit.
Now is Jake...
I was just like, it's a fucking YouTuber versus a boxer.
But when you saw Ben weigh in,
Oh my god! No! It wasn't even when he weighed in because I didn't even pay attention to that. It was just like the day of. I put a bet on.
Took his fucking
I put a bet on Ben to beat.
shirt off.
Bro, as soon as
Dad
he
bod
took
Ben.
his shirt off, I was like, oh my god, I just lost this. I just lost this bet, hands down, dude. But bigger question is, I don't think Floyd would be the type that sells out like that.
no. All I'm saying is that there's no reason that he needs to
take this
fight.
But
a
I'm still gonna
YouTuber.
put $25
That-
on Logan just in case he does win, because shit.
It's the fight game. Anything's possible, but the odds of him winning are slim.
I
It's
think
a
they're
900. It's
I
a
think they're
900 favorite for Floyd.
I think the interesting thing is that, you know, the grand scheme of this, right? They were able to entice Floyd out of retirement.
With how much money?
There's a lot
A
of money
lot of
revolving
money.
around those guys. And if that
Yeah,
doesn't
it's like-
interest individuals, I don't know what will. So, because we're talking like, what did Floyd make in the Pacquiao one? I think it was 100.
I think it was like 5.
I know it was at least 100.
I think it was like 500. Where's the fucking?
Okay, someone watching, how much money did Mayweather make on the Pacquiao fight? And how much is he expected to make on the Logan Paul fight?
I think it's
Put that in chat.
I've heard rumors of 100 mil for this fight.
I
That's
thought it was
what
like
I've heard.
90. Yeah, I thought it was like 90 something.
So think about that, guys. Logan has a poll of 100 million for a fight, and he's not a boxer. My favorite thing about Logan, because we've talked about how we think he's a fucking genius.
I think Logan is awesome. I hate Jake.
Yeah, Jake. I think Jake has ideas. He just doesn't know how to.
He's just terrible at them.
He's just terrible at them. Logan.
Is honestly
Genius.
a genius. I think
Yeah, I
Logan
think
Paul is
Logan
honestly a genius.
He is genuinely. I think
And
he
I
is as well.
I love how he's marketing this fight.
I love
He's on
Logan.
TikTok. He's making memes about how he's not going to win this fight.
And then watch him win.
He put one up the other day where it was replying. You know, on TikTok where like one side of it, one of the trends right now is these girls like listening to you and then they start laughing at you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he did one where he was like punching
Yeah.
bags and it was like, yeah, I'm gonna fight Floyd Mayweather, and then they all started laughing. He's like, oh, I'm gonna fight Floyd Mayweather. You know, and
then-
he's totally rolling with
Well,
it.
and then
Yeah.
he made the tweet where he's like, "My mom's really scared, guys."
Yeah.
like that stuff's funny.
But here's the thing. This is why it's so genius for Logan. He loses. Nothing changes except his bank account.
Exactly.
Everyone's
He's
gonna
still
be like,
getting
we
paid,
fucking
bro.
told
he
you so,
wins.
dummy.
He wins. Win or lose, he wins.
If for some reason Logan throws his lerp left, whatever it is that he has, and he somehow catches Floyd and ends the fight, dude is immediately the biggest star on the planet.
Literally. Because Floyd is arguably the best boxer.
Now name one person on this planet who wouldn't fight Floyd for, you know, I don't know how much he's going to make, 50 million, 60 million,
A lot.
and just like a 0.01% chance of being the biggest star on the planet.
I'd do it.
100%. I'd let
Yeah.
Floyd ice
Train
my
your ass
ass.
off.
I
Like,
would let Floyd do a lot of things.
he could get on top of me and bash my fucking head in after I'm knocked out.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
God.
Because my question is like, if he does somehow, some way knock out Floyd, do you think other boxers are gonna try to fight him now?
Sure, and I bet he's smart enough. He'll be like,
Let's do it. But
Yeah,
now
because
he's getting
his
paid.
bank account goes up.
Yeah, his value goes up as a fighter to fight him.
That's marketing 101, baby.
Yeah, look at
Speaking
Jake.
of marketing,
Guess who finally acknowledged Jake? Canelo.
Really?
Canelo would ice the floor with Jake Paul, but now he's in his fucking eyesight.
yeah.
That's another $100 million fight right there.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm gonna pay and watch Canelo fuck Jake Paul.
Hell yeah,
Like
dude.
he's gonna just
This fight's gonna be crazy. What is it, June?
yeah
It's coming up next month.
next month.
It's next month?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. That's gonna be sick.
It's gonna be sick.
But it's
I am gonna put, literally, dude, it's a 900 odds. Like, Jake is at
$25 to put on.
$25 and you win like 600.
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Throw that 25. I got you guys if you need it.
Hey, let's go. I'll probably. I honestly will probably put 100 on Logan just for the.
Yeah.
Just fun. Just
Yeah.
because.
Because then I'm rooting
You
for.
have to, dude, because if you put 100, oh man,
Yeah.
you can make bank
Yeah.
on that.
And
Bank.
And
It's
who
so
knows?
Stupid.
But again, it makes me think, like, what if it is rigged? I don't know. What was all this shit? I didn't look into it super deep, but today when I was on Instagram, I saw something about Floyd freaking the fuck out.
So they had their first in-person press
Meeting,
conference,
Press
Yeah.
conference.
and Jake. So Floyd had said in passing that he would fight Logan and Jake on the same night, and then everyone's like, "Oh shit!" So Jake, being Jake. And I can see Logan hates when Jake does this shit. It's so crazy to me that he allows it. But Jake went and got in his face. Floyd Mayweather's
Well,
face.
first of
This
all-
has to do with Jake?
Yeah.
First of all,
I fucking can't stand Jake, dude.
wait. First of all, Jake untied his shoes when he was on stage.
on stage.
Okay, it says his shoes untied.
Yeah, it's
So he
hilarious.
pokes the bear.
Yeah, he pokes the bear.
So that's number one. Number two, they get up in each other's faces after that.
and they're talking like he's like, I'm gonna call whoever
Yeah.
signed the papers, like to
Yeah.
get Floyd to fight Logan and Jake on the same night, which would never happen.
Would not.
But then,
it's a bad
like a
move.
fucking
Fuck.
fourth grader,
dude, like a fucking elementary kid.
Literally.
he grabs Floyd's hat
And takes it.
off his
and
head,
says,
"I got your hat,"
and runs away.
and then fucking Floyd's
Bodyguard
bodyguard gang dudes go and just fuck him up.
Dude, so
No way!
Jake has like a black eye.
Yeah,
No
he's trying to hide it
way!
behind these glasses. But here's Jake being smart. Immediately he made merch that says, "I got your hat."
Got your hat.
He got a tattoo on his leg that says, "I got your hat."
I had no idea how to do with Jake at all.
It was with Jake.
Yeah.
Wow, what a little
Nothing to do
fucking
with Logan.
shit, dude.
Yeah,
Literally, that's crazy.
So that's crazy.
You know
That's
what
a
I
wild
think's
thing.
going to end up happening, though?
What?
And I think this is the genius move. Jake and Logan are going to have to fight.
I said the same thing.
Really?
I think so.
I think they'll be tight. Who would you take?
I don't think they'll have to fight. They have so many people that hate them.
I think they
Are you
will,
shitting
though.
me?
'Cause
I
if
think
you
that would
look
be
at-
sick.
If you look at all the things that Logan keeps saying, and he keeps getting caught saying these things,
What?
how he's like, the big one that's floating around right now is like a recorded call in there, like a recorded thing going on in their house saying, Logan's talking to someone saying how Jake and his dad always tend to fuck everything up. And he's tired of it. And I don't know when this was from, but it's Tim
going
saying
around.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And then now this, you could see him in like these videos of this press conference, you know, visibly mad that Jake's doing his shit. But then like in front of the cameras, he's like, "Oh, buddy with Jake."
Yeah.
If I'm thinking like money fight
That would be.
after Floyd, you know, if he gets fucked up by Floyd and the hype goes down,
That would be the big thing if
pit the brothers against each other.
Yeah. I think that would be sick. Who would you take?
Probably Jake.
Jake?
Jake's more skilled, I think.
Yeah, I think Jake's a better fighter.
But I feel like
Logan's
Logan's got that
bigger.
older brother fucking strength, you know?
older. He's probably stronger and he's bigger.
Think
but
about older brother strength. You're not going to let your little fucking brother beat you.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm an only child.
Same.
I don't know.
I
got an only child.
Yeah, I don't know, but I see, it, and you can look at some of the analysts who look at Jake's fighting.
And
He
he's
knows how to throw a punch.
He does.
Do I think he's a pro? Fuck no.
No.
Absolutely not. But could he run like an amateur circuit and then maybe become a pro? Yeah, probably in like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I can't believe that was all with Jake, dude.
Yeah,
And
Jake
that
blew
blows
that
my
whole thing up.
mind.
Even though the
You
best
want this?
clip from that,
Yeah.
the best clip from that is Floyd was like,
I'm gonna
he was
fucking
like,
kill you.
no, he was like, we'll never forget what you did in Japan, Logan. And like about him filming the guy who was
Yeah.
Oh, with the body. Yeah.
and then Logan looks at him and he's like, hey guys, did you guys forget that he's 51-0? He knocked out his wife.
Oh!
And you could tell Floyd instantly didn't know what to say. He got super like, oh, like just didn't know what to say.
Threw him way off.
Yeah, threw him way off. Like he fucking dug in the trenches.
He just
like
twisted the blade.
Like,
Don't underestimate the YouTubers.
See, I think,
bro.
okay, once again, I think Logan Paul is awesome. Like, I am a huge Logan Paul fan. I hate Jake Paul. I hate everything he stands for. I hate his personality, everything.
Same.
But Logan, I think, is a legit genius who knows what the fuck he's doing. He's very calculated. He's very smart. And
he's got a great team around him.
And I think, like we said, no matter what happens, he wins.
Yeah,
he wins.
It's a great marketing push.
He could lose that fight in 5 seconds.
Yep.
This is a net win.
And he wins.
I just have a hard time.
And he'll make fun of himself afterwards,
100%.
and it'll be funny,
Yeah.
and he'll be like, "Yeah, what'd you expect?" And it'll be, life will go on.
Yeah, and he'll.
But he gets the opportunity to fight this fool.
Yeah.
With the slimmest of chances of actually knocking him out.
Hey, and if we really want to get into it, Floyd hasn't fought since 2017.
In all reality,
he's 45
And
or
small.
44, and small.
and
Dude,
small.
Dude, Logan Paul is so big compared to him.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Yeah, but at the same time, I haven't seen Floyd get rocked since like 2000.
Bro, flip
6? Like 6?
He's old.
He's old though. That chin might not.
We'll
be there.
see, dude.
I'm excited for it. I never thought that I'd be excited for this YouTube fighting thing because, like, when the whole KSI and Logan thing happened, I was like, I get it. Like, you know, they're making a couple mil. Like, that's cool.
But now it's like traction.
Now it's like, bro, we're talking the best boxer, arguably the best boxer ever.
Yeah.
Fighting a YouTuber now.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me. And as much as I hate to say that, it's kind of turned boxing into a little bit of a joke in a sense.
Boxing's always been a joke, though.
Yeah,
it has because of how corrupt it's been.
I think this is the best thing that's probably happened to boxing in a while because
it's spiked
aside from, there's only one fight that I am hyped for in the boxing world, and that is Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Aside from that, the last boxing one that I bought was Tyson and
the last one.
Yeah, who's the other the super scary dude? Anyway,
I have no idea.
No, the other Tyson for the championship belt. I bought that one.
Oh,
the card leading up to that, boring.
Yeah.
The final fight, underwhelming.
In my personal opinion, UFC is so much funner to watch than boxing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
UFC is the shit.
Everyone has that same opinion now because boxing, unless it's like the top elite guys, I'm not gonna pay $60 to watch a pay-per-view for, anything under a middleweight.
Can I do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so whoever wants to take a shot with Morgan, go ahead and pour them now. It's a Friday night, and
pour them now.
We don't have shot glasses, so I have to be a degenerate. And
Degen. These are Degen hours, man.
Cheers, ladies and gents.
Let's go.
Yeah, shot, Steph. Steph, I expect you to take one.
Slizzard. I love that. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think UFC is so much funner to watch. The last fight I actually purchased myself is, and actually I don't even think I bought it. Now that I'm thinking about it. But the real last one I really paid attention to was the Mayweather Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
Or Mayweather McGregor, actually. I should say.
Yeah, Mayweather McGregor.
Yeah, okay. I just stream everything. Like I don't pay for shit.
I don't know if we can say that.
Let me just be the one to say I just stream everything.
Like
I don't buy anything. Like come on, I haven't bought anything for since 2016. Yeah, the lid has a weird plasticky thing in it, so it's not a shot glass. So sorry, Steph.
I can go get a shot glass.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No.
We're degens,
Yeah, it's a real Degen hours.
Shots to be found.
That's something that, okay, so we'll be vague here because we haven't launched yet. I think something that'd be really fun for SBL.
SBL.
Oh, well.
Since you know...
SBL.
Yeah, SBL.
I thought you said SB. Oh.
I was like,
what?
student body officer?
That's what I thought you said.
SBL. Since you have a lot of background in MMA and fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm a fucking nerd when it comes to following these fuckers.
Yeah.
That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That'd be a lot of fun.
We got a new thing coming out, guys. Stay tuned. Me and Wes are going to be doing something Smooth Brain Life. Heard it here first.
Heard it here first. Smooth Brain.
Including fighting, though?
We're going to be doing lots of things.
Yes.
Smooth Brain.
Including fighting.
Smooth Brain Life.
It's the whole
That's
life.
sick.
It's life. How much life is smooth?
I would love to get into boxing or some sort of fighting, just not like necessarily.
I do it weekly.
People. I know you do. I feel like it would be a fun. I'm all about doing the exercise thing, and I feel like that would be cool not only for exercise but also for like self-defense, like walking into some place and being like, yo, I could beat this. I could model out this fool if I needed to. You know what I mean?
Brain. Yeah, dude, sick. Like that. It's a really good feeling, and I'll say this: like, if you're out with your girl, if you're out with friends, you know, if shit goes down, you're good, or you'll at least be good for a while.
Yeah.
You know, until like it gets crazy. But yeah, dude, like it's a confidence thing. Like
it is a confidence thing, and that's why I feel like
it's
even a little bit. Like I'll speak on this. Like, you know, Morgan's had way more training than anyone here, and I've done a little bit. I've done gaps in my life of training, and even those gaps make you feel more confident if things were to happen. Like, and I still just don't put myself in situations where I have stress.
I've lived that life forever.
The times where there has been stuff that have popped off, I have been able to protect myself.
Yeah, you feel really good about it.
And
I think every dude should know how to fight and not just be like, oh, I can take that guy. Like, they should like train, learn.
I've tried to pitch the idea that even base level karate, I don't care. Like, karate doesn't have the greatest opinion anymore. I think even base level karate should be taught in high school.
That'd be sick.
I disagree.
Why? My only thought would be like, if you were teaching kids how to like honestly fight, like, is that promoting like, hey, guess what?
No, because if you actually,
it's like a confidence thing.
If you actually like study fighting and you go to these gyms and you learn, so like, it makes you not want to fight.
It's self-defense.
No, it's not that, dude. It's this. Okay, I'll explain it the best way I can. Morgan's a state wrestler. I wrestled all through high school, went to state, did okay, didn't take state, but went to state. Moved to Utah. I start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, grappling. One of my first lessons there was open mat. And I look at the guy that they put me against. And in my brain, I'm like, this fucking nerd. I got like 50 pounds on this dude, man.
I'm gonna rock this
like,
fool.
Dude, like, okay, like, fuck this. I'm a state wrestler. I feel good at, like, this guy manhandled me. Dude, this guy made me a child in his arms. And he was like 50, dude, he was like a nerd. He like wore like floods and like fucking glasses. He was just like this weirdo dude. And I'll never forget, like, it taught me, like, you never know what the other person is capable of. Like, you'll never know what they're capable of. So from that moment on, I don't want to get in fights. Fuck that. People scare the shit out of me.
Because you don't know what sleepers out there.
You have no idea what fucking nerd has been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai or whatever it is for 10 years, and he just looks like a nerd, and you say something wrong, and you're like, yeah, let's fuck it up. And you push him, and next thing you know, he judo throws you on the concrete, and you're unconscious, and just, you're fucking dead. Dude, like, you'll never know. And so, like, I think, to your point, Wes, that, like, martial arts or training or MMA or whatever you want to call it, it keeps you away from fighting because you're just like, you'll just never know. Or if you were attacked or if you are in a sketchy situation, you're confident to be like, okay, well, at least I'm not going to get like choked out or knocked out because I know the defenses to that and I'll be fine.
My best, like my goal when it comes to this type of stuff is I never want to be in another fight unless I'm participating in like sport or like me. And back when I was athletic and playing a lot of sports, so I was very arrogant and
just feeling good.
And I always say that I got the Colonel Sanders. This kid gave me like a 4-piece combo, and I was sleeping.
Oh
no way!
God.
What did he hit you with?
I don't remember.
You don't remember.
Lit me up, and then woke up later, and I'm like,
what happened?
Oh fuck! Like, and my face was swollen.
Got the 4-piece combo with a side.
I got the Colonel Sanders,
side
man.
Of sauce.
He fucking gave me the 4-piece combo.
Brittany's been knocked out twice by slipping on ice.
Yeah, don't do that.
Smooth brain.
And koala brain.
Koala brain.
So I have to tell that story, and she's gonna hate it. So we were watching TikTok one night, and this was like when the smooth brain stuff was going on, and like when I learned what the whole smooth brain idea, and this guy did a TikTok where he was all like, random fact, koala bears have the smoothest brains of any mammal on the planet.
Oh God.
And I look at her and I'm like, you're my little koala.
Oh, Brittany, koala bear.
And the smooth
koala
brain.
bear. Hell yeah,
it's fun.
That's sick.
Now, do you disagree with me though? Training in high school?
Karate. I mean, of all that you can
Anything,
choose.
yeah. Like,
I mean something. I mean something.
because
yes,
wrestling,
but
it
like,
sucks because I wish that wrestling would have had the. It's still till when I was in high school, it still had a stigma around it.
As what?
What stigma?
Like that you're rolling around with men. People still
Wearing
made those
leotards.
jokes.
Oh, for sure,
Oh,
for
they
sure.
never made that on the East Coast.
Oh,
ever.
they absolutely did out here.
Yeah,
I remember
oh,
that shit.
Really?
Tons.
That's like a thing.
I never.
Tons.
I
That
never.
comes from the homophobia of the main religion out here.
Yeah,
It
Ladies
does.
and
and
gents.
It's
a
huge
super,
out here.
It's a super bummer because wrestling. If everyone took wrestling,
Yeah.
people would stop trying to front.
Dude, I would do
Steph,
off-season
that's
training
funny.
with the wrestling team because they were like they would train.
Quality, god damn.
Quality content.
That's
Ooh,
I like that.
Steph with ripples on her brain. Just so many ridges.
Just fucking straight ridge.
Wrinkly ridges.
I like to think I have a mohawk brain where it's
You
just
just have one ridge.
and then the
big
rest
one.
is smooth.
Just one fucking ridge.
That's fucking great.
No, karate, jujitsu.
I don't think that will
boxing.
ever fly though. Honestly, just because it's like from people outside of it will think it's promoting violence.
Yeah, like we're definitely getting like soft as a community. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the thing is
There should be something.
it would so easily be proven to like negate violence because like if you take let's say we put jujitsu in schools, make it an alternative to like I don't know gym. You know those people who hate gym.
Mm-hmm.
Let them go in there and lazily roll around a little bit and then fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna
And
be
it
like,
would
you need
definitely
to take this
happen.
class next semester. Take this class next semester.
And maybe there would be a movement, but from the outside looking in, it looks like it's a violent thing,
Especially around here.
especially around here.
No, I heard that joke tons.
Really?
The wrestling.
Interesting.
Oh, for sure.
You
We're leotards.
Utah, your homophobia is showing.
Oh, Utah's homophobia
Cover
is
it up.
always showing.
It's always there.
Yeah, dude. Mr. Staley, I train at Mushin Self-Defense. It's here in North Salt Lake.
Down on Redwood Road. Highly recommend them.
I've trained there for 15 years. I've trained at a lot of places in Utah, but Mushin is definitely my favorite. They have a great program. Totally worth it.
And they're great guys.
They're awesome guys.
well traveled, well
Like,
experienced.
have you been to one?
yeah, he used to go to Mushin.
Hell yeah. I haven't been to any of them. I want to do some class like
We
that.
should both start at Mushin.
We should. We were talking
We'll go
about
with
that. We
Morgan.
were saying, look, we'll make you a video if you let us do some training with you.
Trade, the power of trade.
Yeah.
The power.
We've talked about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I want to reach out to him and be like, hey, I'll give you guys a free sponsor if I can just come fucking.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
And then
yeah, I
watch-
train there 3 times a week, Mr. Staley.
And then watch Morgan head kick poor souls who want to test him.
I can do that.
All of a sudden we get good and then we have like a Monarch brawl, so that'd be sick.
Monarch brawls after hours.
Dude, fuck that. Let's go like compete somewhere. and
The
then-
Monarch team.
It's
Should,
just
should
like
we be like
Monarch.
old school, like storm other agencies, challenge them to
We challenge you to a
Bust in
physical
the
fight.
doors.
just challenge other agencies? So
Hell
That'd be
yeah,
tight.
Wes, you coming with? Oh, hell yeah.
open
brother.
mat is on Fridays at 6. I know you have your podcast, but open mat Fridays at 6.
Fridays at 6.
Hell yeah.
So, I wanted to venture down a different road that's away from all of this.
Sure,
Let's do
let's
it.
do it. I might have broken my sill, but let's go.
Oh, do you know nothing?
Yeah, maybe soon, but
Oh, you
soon.
just go.
All right.
Hobbies.
Hell yeah, I
Hobbies.
love hobbies.
I want to know what you did as a child, well, not a child, as a kid, into your high school life that you're still actively following or doing now. Is there
Okay.
anything?
Gaming.
I would say sports.
Yeah?
Yeah, gaming for me. I grew up gaming, console gaming, Xbox, all sorts of that, and that's still a huge part of my life. So
See, and I never did gaming, and I
Yeah.
still don't do gaming.
I was a gamer, bro.
Yeah, I never have done gaming, and I still do sports. I did sports. Sports was my life. Lived like growing up, everything was sports, and I still do basketball. I've gotten into golf a lot lately.
Oh, interesting.
Golf is so fun, dude, and it just like I guess working out too, just because of like I feel like from a little kid we were always working out to be better at sports, and that's like a big chunk of life for me.
Yeah, I did a lot of sports too. I was doing the whole gambit. I did basketball, football, baseball.
You did baseball too?
Played baseball all the way up until
I mean,
high school.
I wrestled all through high school, and
Yeah.
I'm still doing that.
Yeah,
so,
that's sports.
Yeah, but just that, like, you put me on a basketball court, I'm like Helen Keller, like don't know
See,
what's
and I'm
happening.
not like the best at basketball. Basketball would be the one sport I feel like I struggled the most with. But yeah, still sports, and then action sports like snowboarding. Still, I think I'll do that until I camp.
I need to get into snowboarding or skiing because I fucking hate the winter and it'll give me a reason
It's
to
the
like
one thing you can do that's so fun. Like you get up in those mountains and it's like, oh man, I actually have this love for winter because this is only available when it's
right.
cold as shit.
Wait, so
hate the
was
winter.
baseball your main one? Or
No, football.
football? What'd you
Football.
position?
I played running back and then I also played a little bit of corner too.
Ooh.
And then I also did lacrosse, dude. I did lacrosse in the off season, and that was like an eye opener because lacrosse was so fun. It was like that physicality of a sport.
Mhm.
Basketball and baseball don't have that physicality, and lacrosse still did. But it was so new out here.
I tried lacrosse. I
got actually really good. I was playing on like Team Utah, and we traveled
shit.
to a few places. Yeah, but it was always second to football. But once you get to the point where it's like, am I gonna pursue this as a career? I was like, fuck no.
that's
Like,
when mine.
I don't want to play. I don't want to waste my college life just grinding the same shit I was doing in high school. I rather, again, I'm not this person now, but at that time I was like, I'd rather party and like do all this fun stuff than go play sports.
Hell yeah, dude. We still party. I fucking love party. Yeah, I do that. Is that a hobby? I still party like I did in high school.
No, we don't party like we did in high. I don't party like I did in high school. I feel like I
Yeah,
was
you're right.
ruthless in high school.
No, I took it up a couple notches. But
We're at a 4, we're at a 7.
I graduated in the party aspect, but
Partying was really weird for me. I was
yeah, how was partying in Utah? How do you party in Utah?
Oh, there was definitely
weird.
a party scene, but it was like the kids that partied were. A lot of the kids would lie about them partying, and it's like, I know you do, bro. I seen you last
You're
week.
like, I saw
I
you.
you remember what
I
you did
saw
last
some
week?
shit that you did.
And you're trying to pretend that didn't never happen.
and when it's almost on the flip side of that too, it was almost like you lied about partying to try and like seem like you were cooler.
I know.
Utah is really weird with a lot
It's
of
a
things.
crazy way you grow up, man. It's a crazy way you grow up. Because it is. It's built around these lies, dude. It's built around these lies, and I hated that. I would be totally real with me. I'd be like, yeah, dude, I definitely did get messed up last weekend. That's me, bro. Accept it or leave it. Like, I'm not going to pretend I didn't do this.
I just thought it was strange that like I don't know.
It was a
The
wild.
Utah party scene was strange because like either you had the flip side, like the people who partied because like they wanted to socialize, and it'd be like really cringy, like awkward parties.
Mhm.
But then it'd be like a full like 180. You'd go to a party and it's like booze, drugs,
Ragers.
you know, just hard ragers.
Ragers.
Yes.
You know, and there was never the in between of like some casual
party.
raging.
I'll say this: I feel like in Utah, it was one of those things where I'm actually super grateful that I got into the whole party scene as young as I did because I got that shit out of my system.
Same.
I feel like in Utah, a lot of people don't get into that party scene. All of a sudden, they're like 23, and they're like, "Holy shit, this is what alcohol does to me," and they go off the fucking deep end because they try to make up for all the shit that you did in high school at that age.
No, I was probably one of those people. You know, I mean, I still was LDS when in high school, but like I definitely went to some parties that were East Coast parties. Like, I had a ton of friends that were like LDS on the East Coast, and that was like my main group. But I had a group of friends that were not that, and I remember like I went to some ragers on the East Coast. I would never do anything crazy, so I definitely feel like I was one of those people like.
That held out.
I held out, and then I got fucked up in my 20s, let it all out, and did crazy shit, and then had to kind of learn.
See, mine's interesting. So, I was kind of like pretty straight edge, not like the straight edge kids,
The straight edge.
but like I was pretty like focused on, you know, school and, you know,
You're just like a good kid.
trying to pursue like some sports and stuff. So I didn't really party at all when I was in high school. Like
Really?
I was working full time, like, and doing like try to maintain a 4.0 and shit. Like I was pretty hard nosed with it. And after graduating, and this is dumb, but like I got into a really serious job where I was a general manager working for a pizza place. Way too young to be doing that. And then I got into a relationship. And this relationship I thought was, was my first one. First girl I ever did anything with. First girl that I loved. Broke my heart, of course, like the typical story goes. And that's when I started partying. So I was like, oh, well, fuck it. So then for the span of maybe, I would have been 20, from like 20 to maybe 23, I was partying almost every night.
Nice.
We were drinking, we were smoking, we were having good times. But I had two really pivotal moments where it all changed for me. And I've told these stories plenty of times. The biggest one was waking up in someone's house naked. I didn't know who they were. And even though they're hilarious stories to tell, and I don't regret them, it made me not party. And I honestly haven't gotten drunk since.
There's pinnacle moments in my life that I will not say on here, but like there is a specific moment that happened when I was literally 17, right before I did door to door.
I feel like I know this one.
And that's what hit me, and I was like, dude, I can't keep doing this, because I started super young, and it was kind of a little bit different because it was this relationship I got into. I was a sophomore dating a senior, and her whole lifestyle was like partying and doing the whole scene, like college life. And all of a sudden I was literally a sophomore doing those same things.
Doing that thing.
And so I went through all of those motions, and it was my senior year where shit hit the fan, and I was like, holy cow, I'm gonna run my life into the ground if I don't fix shit. And I'm grateful for that.
I think for me it was too, like, I don't know why I had such a prolific distaste for myself when I did, like, when that happened to me. And like when I tell people the story, they're like, well, that's really not that bad. But for me it was, because like, I put myself in a situation that really bothered me. And
blacking out is scary, man.
That's what I did, and I haven't.
Blacking out is
I don't think I've ever probably since 23 or 24, I don't think I've gotten drunk enough to not be able to
remember
drive and get pulled over and pass.
And then there's more again. And I have too many of those fucking stories, but moderation.
Yeah, everything's okay.
Just sprinkle it in there.
And at this point in life, it's those things where it's like you learn from those. You learn from those moments, and you realize that that's not.
Do
worth
you?
it.
Every time I go to California with my buddies, I don't.
But
learn.
guess what? You're safe about it. It's not like you're out doing stupid stuff, risking a lot.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, yeah. I mean, I Uber, I Lyft.
Everybody should Uber. Everybody should Uber.
No excuse not to Lyft.
I hate to say this too, and I mean this with love. But I also saw what some of my friends were getting into. And I always, I knew that old adage, you are what your friends are.
Yeah.
And that kind of is another, and I don't talk about this aspect because I don't want it to come off rude, but I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be represented as that person. I didn't want to be seen as that person.
I know,
dude, I literally cut out with my closest friend group at the time because of that moment. That one thing happened, and I literally stopped hanging out with all of them.
All right,
and it's not that I don't like drinking or I don't like partying, but for me, I always felt like if I just follow this path, that's all I'll ever do. And for me, I just didn't feel fulfilled with it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't stimulate me anymore. I had this conversation recently.
I'm gonna be the D-gen and be like, on that note, let's take another shot.
Let's do it. I'm not a big little guy.
Yeah. We're always
but see, this is the difference. It's not like we're out here doing ridiculous
it's Friday
things.
night. We're in a safe space.
Before it was like, we're sneaking into clubs underage, doing shit that's like stupid, and then driving, and then just obviously drinking to the point where you black out.
Yeah, let's do that.
And it's like I don't mess with that stuff. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore.
No.
I'm smart with what I do.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Smooth like molasses.
Very smooth.
Spoof.
No chasers. We don't even chase our women. All right?
I chase my women.
Yeah.
I chase my girl.
It's okay.
See, and I'm just grateful for it. Like I said, dude, point of the story is I'm grateful that I went through all the bullshit that I went through, because if I didn't go through it, I could be off.
Yeah, dude, like shitty experiences teach you a ton. Like, dude, I can't tell you how many times I've made terrible decisions. woken up that next day
I've been like, why?
and been like,
And this is what I'm going to do next time, so I never get in this situation.
And you're terrified to look at your phone, to look at the messages and the calls sent,
or to call your buddy and be like, "Yo, bro, what happened last night?"
You're just, guys, that. But you learn from them.
Exactly.
You get better.
Exactly, and you learn that. Guess what? Now I know I'm not gonna drive drunk. Now I know I'm not gonna drink that much. Now I know I'm not gonna act a fool or start pulling my phone out in these cases.
God damn it.
Yes.
Don't bring it up, Staley. I know.
Yeah, that's Staley. I have the same problem. It's called. I can't even, because the title of it is like, we're gonna drink, and then they don't drink.
If you will, okay. If you'll love this,
false advertising, Staley.
We're doing drink of every episode now. There will be a special drink for every episode.
Before
finish the whole bottle.
No, before you start that episode, you need to take 2 shots each.
Big ones.
Like, that is the point of the fucking episode, and you're missing it.
Yeah.
Morgan taught me that 2-shot thing.
Yeah, you take 2 shots.
2 shots.
Literally, it's like you got to start off the night strong.
That's how we started this stream, fellas.
2 shots.
Except him.
Yeah, except me. I had one. I had one.
Call sign Monk knows what's up.
Yep, that
Call
2
sign
shot.
Monk's the
2 shot,
goal.
you're starting off strong.
Who's call sign Monk?
Just homie.
Just a homie?
Homie.
Nice. What's that star?
He is subbed to the channel.
Oh, you're a sub. Nice. Call sign Monk. Hell yeah. Guys, go watch old podcasts. They drink enough for all. Okay. But did they? Did he die?
Did he die? Did he die?
It's called, dude, True Crime Drunk, so you're not even drunk. You're drinking fucking water, and it pisses me off. Anyways.
Hey, it's okay. We have a
it's fine.
Great community around us.
If Holly watches this, Holly, please drink more. Get him to drink. Ugh.
I'm not easily pressured into drinking.
Then why do you call it drunks if you're not drunk?
It's the idea. Right. It's a good idea.
Sure. In their spirit.
We're drunk off of the
idea while I'm watching you, I'm more drunk watching you.
You can get drunk off things besides alcohol.
I'm drunk off of true crime.
Alright, stop it. Just stop.
It's just addicting. It's
fucking
like, I'm an alcoholic.
Elementary kids over here, okay?
Hey, drinking to me is just not.
It's not the sauce, dude. It's not the sauce.
It's not the sauce, but you have a podcast around it.
I have a podcast around true crime.
Yes, and drinking is just a side note of it.
We're drunk on true crime.
All right. I mean, we'll agree to disagree.
It's a play on words.
We'll agree to disagree.
We love our true crime.
Fucking smooth brain over here.
Smooth brain. To be honest, I don't even know where the original idea of true crime is.
Because you should get drunk and talk about true crimes.
I would love a show where you just get super faded and just talk about stuff. That's sick.
That's what I was expecting. I was expecting this beautiful steak dinner, and guess what? They gave me a fucking Big Mac. The bait and switch. Bait and switch. That's what True Crime Drunks is. But it's a great podcast. Go check it out.
It is a good podcast.
But they should get more drunk. My 2 cents.
Warren's just an alcoholic. Sorry.
I'm not an what?
I'm kidding.
I've been sober for like a week.
A whole week.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
You're just drinking water and wine.
They're just trying to replicate that? No, they're doing it the opposite. They're drinking water during their goddamn podcast.
I just won't drink anything. What if I just pretend?
Then
it's false advertising.
No, you gotta drink a little bit.
I can't. You got another podcast after this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh,
9.
Oh, okay. We can wrap things up. What's the last question you have?
Hit us with some questions. Hit us with
hit us questions. Rapid fire. What do you want to know? You got, let's last questions of the night. Let's wrap this up.
I like rapid fire.
Rapid fire. What do you want to know? Anything. Ask me anything. I'll answer chat as well. AMA.
In your current life right now, what brings you the most happiness?
Most happiness?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it. Let me think.
Honestly, I'd say my girlfriend. She's been amazing. And it has been this light because it was such a dark time in certain aspects of it. Not with her, but in relationship-wise. And having somebody that's like on my same level with the same mindset has been the most refreshing thing I've ever fucking had.
I agree with you. Finding a woman that shares the same vision and is on your team.
It's cute. It makes me sad. Because that's all I ever wanted.
I would say that's the thing that brings me the most happiness right now. Like,
I have 2 things. Monarch and my son.
And Monarch is absolutely up there. Yes.
Monarch, my company brings so much joy to me. I was telling you this the other day. I'm obsessed with Monarch. I fucking love it. I live, breathe, sleep, eat Monarch. I wake up and I'm like, What do we do for
to make it better?
Monarch?
Exactly.
What needs to get done? I fucking love Staley, of course, bruh. I love Monarch, so that just brings me so much joy. I love like teaching people and doing the whole business thing. Like I love business. And then my son, like obviously I love my son. I don't see him a ton and I hate that. I'm trying to like fix that right now. But dude, I just I think about my son all the time, and those are like the two things that like I really love right now. Like happiness.
What about you, Wes?
What makes you happy right now in life?
I think I multifacets. For sure my podcast is, you know, I always talk about I did a lot of things in my early life because I thought I was supposed to. And I realized that I was doing things
Like pressured or just directed?
Directed.
Okay.
I don't ever feel like I was pressured to do certain things, but I was definitely like directed to do things that just I didn't understand why I was doing them. And the podcast was the first time in my life where I was like, I'm doing this because I want to.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. Obviously, my fiance is up there. I mean, like you said,
I hope so.
Yeah, like you said, when you date in Utah, it's a really fascinating thing because there's so many.
God damn it! Am I just like forever alone?
No.
I just realized this. You guys got like beautiful girlfriends who are like loving and supporting.
No.
And there's Morgan.
Listen,
You know how many times you have to go through the worst and worst?
You know
to
how
figure that
hard
out?
I'm gonna like bumble tonight.
I hope you find the one.
Love
No,
is in
that's the
bubble
thing
tonight.
is like I've been in how many relationships? Like
No,
5 or
it's
6
fine.
total, like actual relationships, all failed. I've dated a handful more.
Yeah.
You know, when it clicks, it just really makes sense.
Boom. That's the best way you can say
You're
it.
in
When it
Utah-
happens, it really fucking happens.
You
Dude.
guys are making me sad.
to make
You go
you-
through this
I
shit.
get it.
Boy,
I
you go through these things where it's like, guess what? I feel like there's no one out there. There's no one out there. But dude, as soon as that one hits, you're like, holy shit.
I'll be honest with you, dating in Utah
Sucks
is,
ass.
is not helping.
It's not.
Call sign monk. It sucks. It's the worst thing ever.
There's
It's-
a lot.
It's not the worst, but it's hard. It's
I-
hard.
Dude, girls are so stupid in Salt Lake.
But they're
I'll
also
say-
beautiful.
They're so dumb.
I'll say this. The reason why it's difficult to date in Utah is because regardless of how we want to look at it, there is stigmas, and before you even go on a date, there's already ideas that should happen, like how dates should happen.
No, I'll say this. I think women in Utah love shitty men. I think that they love low quality men, and it fucks me. It's just such a weird concept. I don't know how to describe it other than like you look at like a beautiful woman in Utah, they like shitty dudes. Like their style, who they are as a person. That's like just generally speaking, obviously there's outliers.
Sure.
Yeah,
There's
definitely
like
is.
girls like shitty things in Utah, and I hate that.
I think it's maybe because it's being different from the norm, and it's like, oh shit, like
That's-
dates are like supposed to be this way, and that's like the way everybody
It's
dates.
just, dude, Utah.
And all of a sudden you have this
Utah
person who's
is-
like a bad guy, and they're
Utah is like
oh, I'm
a
attracted to
weird
this bad boy
thing.
attitude.
That's what
dude.
I'm saying is if you date in other states, which I'm sure you have, you don't have
I've
this,
been known to date in other states.
you don't have this applied stigma. There's
Yes.
like immediately like how things are going to go. Like, oh, either he wants to fuck or get married.
Mhm.
There's no middle ground in Utah.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
no middle ground
Yeah,
of
I
like,
agree. I
maybe
agree.
I just want to make a fucking friend and see if it blossoms into something. That doesn't exist. There's always in the back of the mind, either we're fucking or we're going to get married. There's never just like, oh, you know what? Maybe we
Let's
can
just
just
be casual friends.
and see where it goes.
That doesn't exist here.
No, it doesn't. That's a problem.
It does if you find it.
Oh
it's
my
very
god,
one-off.
dude. Yeah, exactly.
It's like one in every 10.
That's why I'm no.
I'm a,
maybe
fir-
one in every 20.
I'm a firm believer, and anyone can correct me on this. If you're not friends before you like try and truly date someone, not gonna work out in the long run.
Yeah.
You gotta be friends with someone.
Guess what though? I wasn't friends with Alexis.
Yeah, that's
we knew of each other.
And Alexis is
Right.
badass.
We knew of each other. We never hung out. We didn't hang out. We didn't go to the same high school. But it was one of those things where it's like, oh, I've known of this girl. Oh, she knows of me.
Knowing is still counts.
It is. And I will say that's why
It's
I'm
not
like,
random.
it's not completely random because we didn't know of each other, but we didn't really know each other.
Brittany says, I think in Utah, girls are not taught to have standards. We are taught from a view that you have to be religious or you're trash. And if your religion, if you're religious maybe, then you have to be okay to share your husband with other wives. Fair.
Whoa, maybe.
Shouts out. Nah.
All right, Wes. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What's next for Topshelfers?
What's next for Topshelfers?
What's the next big thing? Like, what are you doing?
The next big thing is Shadowlands of Utah.
And
that is going to be a new direction for Topshelfers as a whole.
so Shadowlands is taking over Topshelfers?
Oh, no. Topshelfers is going to produce Shadowlands of Utah.
Oh.
What is Shadowlands of Utah?
Yeah.
So Shadowlands of Utah is going to be my higher quality investigation series.
Okay.
Where we're going to be going to quote-unquote paranormal locations or abandoned places or places that just have some hype. For example, the first season, which my goal is to launch the first episode in October, is going to be Dugway.
Hell yeah. Can I go with you on that one?
Yeah. And then we're going to hit
Can I be a
hella
special
down.
guest?
Special guest is always open.
That's
Can
what I
we
want.
record it? I'll record that shit for sure, bro.
Oh, we
I
get
got
Makoa
you.
to record
Yeah.
it. I'm a special guest. Collab of the fucking century.
Collab of the
That would be
century.
sick.
Monarch Social Podcast Beach, Topshelfers producing
The other two
Shadowlands.
The other two big ones are Mountain Meadows, which if you guys aren't familiar with that, it's down in southern Utah. It's,
Where the Mormons killed a lot of people.
yes,
War grounds.
Mountain Meadows Massacre, and then the finale will be Skinwalker Ranch.
Nice.
Skinwalker Ranch.
And
Can
it's-
we? What about Blind Frog? Is that in the works?
You know what? Blind Frog might have to hit that episode.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm planning for 10 episodes in a first season shoot. I have all the locations set up. I'm currently working on getting, I don't know what word it is, the documentation to be in the places. So I'm not having to fucking break in or
Sneak around.
That's going decently well. There's only one that's super difficult. And that's the Bountiful Museum. If you guys don't know what that is, it's fucking dope.
Don't know it.
It's up by the Valverde Arches.
Oh yeah,
There's this museum that's awesome looking. It almost looks like a circle dome.
Okay.
And it's been abandoned since I've lived here. And a lot of people say it's haunted. I don't think it's haunted. I think it's just in a cool ass abandoned building. Problem is when it was open, it had LDS historical artifacts in there. Now, I don't think like crazy things, but enough that they don't seem to want anyone going in there.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Trunks, my guy. What up, dude?
And another thing to keep in mind, I want to talk. I just want to say it again. Smooth Brain Life.
Smooth Brain Life.
That's coming, and
I'm excited to see what this.
we have a lot
entails.
planned. We've been planning this for a while.
A month now, at least.
Yeah, at least a month. But like
We're
the
going
concept
into
has
details
been.
this weekend. And
Yeah,
I'm surprised you guys are taking this all the way because I remember when you
we're
guys
going
first
for it.
started
We're
saying
full
Smooth Brain.
sending this
I remember
bitch.
when you guys
Brain.
first started talking about Smooth Brain. I was like, "What is this? What you guys are even talking
Smooth
about?"
Brain Gang.
I think what it's going to incorporate is just kind of a variety of different things. From I don't know. Do we want to talk?
It is like we know. We already know.
Yeah.
We already know. We already know. We already know.
Yeah.
I want it to be a little surprise, but just keep that in your periffs.
Yep.
Smooth Brain Life's coming.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to take one last shot with your viewers.
Yes.
Obviously,
please.
it's shot time.
Shot time. Shot time.
So grab your glasses. I'm going to wait. And there we go.
Mm,
Big ones.
mm.
Smooth like molasses, bro.
Yeah. And yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I've loved being here. Thank you.